How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the TimcastIRL podcast. I am here. I am Tim Pool. I'm hanging out with some of my friends.
You know me, Adam Krigler. How's it going?
Yeah, you know.
Thanks for showing up. What up?
And you know me, Lydia, the producer, Sour Patch Lids.
You technically have a beanie on today.
Do I?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, hold on.
It's on your shirt.
It's
Look.
right in the shirt.
Oh wait.
So we are truly the Beanie Gang.
Yeah.
Beanie Gang.
Sweet.
Beanie
you
Bros
listen-
doesn't really work.
Yeah.
If you listen
sorry.
very carefully, you can hear the birds.
I can hear them.
I
So
hear them.
we opened up the skylights. So if I sneeze 500,000 times, that'll be why. So
Allergy sucker.
Yep. Hey man, it's all a part of.
You can't see me, but I'm pointing and laughing at him.
Wait here.
Yeah, there you go.
Ha-ha.
Proof. See?
There we go.
I was really pointing at him.
It's-
You just gotta. You know what I read once? I read that the reason people get allergies is because we have an immune system for like viruses and stuff, but then you have one for parasites.
Right.
And because we don't get parasites anymore, it just goes haywire and like doesn't. So I actually read. I don't know if this is true. Maybe it's not.
You don't know.
So don't do it.
I heard allergies are just for terrible humans.
No,
Oh,
I heard
that's
that if
possible
you
too.
infect yourself with worms for a couple weeks
Ah.
and then drink that like poison that kills them, it cures your allergies.
Oh, you should do that.
I read that on the internet. That means it's true.
It is true. Yes.
So thanks for hanging out, everybody. Hit that like button. Smash that like
Ooh,
button.
I'm gonna
Yes.
do that right now. I'm liking
Me
it.
too.
Do it.
Boom.
Yeah.
Like.
Really, it helps. But
like this
subscribe.
show.
I was the 177th like.
Oh, that's a
100.
lucky number.
That's excellent.
Yeah,
That's excellent.
177.
So here's what I love about YouTube. The first thing they ever did is like you hit the like button. It's a good thing.
Yeah.
You subscribe. You're good. Now they added the notification bell. Now there's like I don't know if they still do this, but you hit the notification bell and then there's like a subcategory of like, do you all? They just keep making it more and more difficult
Yeah.
to actually say like, dude, just let me know when they post stuff.
Yep.
But we actually did a segment on this the other day. YouTube admits they favor authoritative content that nobody likes.
Authoritative.
And this is funny because apparently like YouTube staff complained. They were like, hey, nobody's watching this stuff. And they were like, so what? Put it up anyway. It's so dumb. But I guess they
Oh,
do
man.
it. Here's why they do it. And this is relevant. Trust me. They do it because it would be smart if I pressed the record button.
Hey, yeah, let's do that.
They Now here we go. Yeah. Welcome to the show, everybody. So the reason YouTube props up these authoritative, I'm doing air quotes, sources is a shield because of these media companies that are constantly smearing and going after them. So now they can be like, oh, but we give you special access. We're doing everything right. And then it's a detriment to their own independent creators. They don't care.
They're just a bunch of circle jerkers.
Shh, whoa. There's kids listening.
They're
Hey,
jerks.
I didn't swear.
Yeah.
No,
they're just
but
jerks.
I didn't swear. And
I got
that's
an-
what it seems like.
I got an email.
Mainstream media, a bunch of other people are just having a good time
Friends.
together.
I got an email.
Friends. Being really friendly with each other.
I got being you know what I say. It's like you ever see the episode of Rick and Morty where all the Jerrys come out of that machine and they're all shaking each other's hands.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Okay.
Because I remember one time I said
Same thing.
Now-
Shaking
now-
each other's hands.
Now that you've already said, circle jerk, I actually had someone email me and they were like, I was driving my kid, back from school,
Yeah.
listening to one of your podcasts, and then they turned to me and said, "Dad, what's a circle jerk?"
Oh no.
It's like, oh no.
Oh no.
I don't know if saying that makes this now an explicit podcast.
No.
I think it might.
No.
No
think
way.
yeah.
It's just a circle, a bunch of jerks in a
circle of
circle.
life.
Circle of jerks.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking
That's all
about,
it is.
right?
Yeah.
I don't know what the context you were thinking of.
Yeah,
was,
I mean, I don't know.
but you got a dirty mind.
yeah.
That's not what we're talking about.
That also might be true.
Yeah.
That's what you should tell your kids this. When they ask you what it is, say, think of all the people you hate and they're all standing in a big circle all laughing. Like, there you
At
go.
each other, pointing at each other and laughing.
Circle of jerks.
Yeah.
what
I
they're
mean, I
doing.
got to be honest. That actually does describe these media
does,
companies.
yeah.
Kinda, yeah.
On YouTube.
It
It's circle of jerks.
That's what I was thinking. Yes.
That's what I was
Thank you,
thinking
Tim.
as well.
Okay.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Appreciate that.
So we got there's big news.
Oh, good. Big
And
news.
it's bad news for news.
Oh no.
Oh.
Bad
oh.
news.
Are we news?
Wait,
We're
not.
Are we like
technically.
outskirt news?
Well, this is entertainment.
News.
This
entertainment.
This show is entertainment.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
All right.
Bad news for news industry. They're collapsing. It is flames, man. It is the boat is gone.
I have a feeling it's not the mainstream media though.
No, it is.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Oh, is that must
This
be the
list-
good news part of it.
This list is
Yeah.
nuts. Pull this list up. Look
Oh,
at this.
here.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, my Lanta. Woo.
Oh, it is fire.
Those are all
Oh,
different
man.
companies.
Fire.
Wow.
It is a very long list.
For those who are just listening, we're scrolling through
Still scrolling. There
probably
we go.
I don't know 100.
200?
Wow,
I don't
more
know,
than
man.
Holy moly.
200
Yeah.
different news companies.
And this is not all of it. I got more stories. Check this out.
Wow, look at that.
Wall Street Journal says, this is from a few weeks ago, Vice media document lays out plan for layoffs amid coronavirus pandemic. Planning document calls for over 300 layoffs, though company says several such proposals are being worked up.
Wow.
It is flames all the way down.
How many
man.
people work at Vice? What would you say?
I think 1,000.
Wow, that's
I'm not entirely sure.
Like 30% of the company.
It might be way more than that because they've grown. It's been a long time since I've been there.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, the media's gone up in flames, man.
Yeah.
I got a bunch. So Vice is denying this, by the way.
Oh, really?
They're pushing back. But the Wall Street Journal did include that, saying that they're saying, hey, this is just being worked up. But we've also got what is this one? BuzzFeed and Condé Nast are making more cuts after pay reductions aren't enough. Now here's the crazy thing. I did a segment earlier. BuzzFeed just shut down news operations for 2 offices.
Yeah.
This might be what they're talking about. But I think these companies were in trouble a long time ago.
Yeah.
There's the bird.
Now, apparently, according to the conversation, they say 9 reasons you should be worried about the closure of BuzzFeed News in Australia. I'm sorry.
That's a jolly laugh.
That is hilarious.
9 reasons too many. That is
reasons
9
to
reasons
celebrate.
too many. Quartz is laying people off. We got the story, digital media clobbered by coronavirus. It's just
Just clobbered. Wow.
yeah.
I like that.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
This is
Sure.
huge. This is a huge
Sure.
list. So
It really is.
before we get into gloating over the demise of a lot of these companies, the first thing I'll point out.
I'm only gloating at a few of them,
Right.
for the record.
That's true. That's
Okay.
a good point.
Yeah.
We only want to gloat for a few of them. Check this out. So a lot of these are just local newspapers.
Okay.
And it's kind of bad. Local newspapers are all right.
Yeah.
They do
exactly.
an all right job, and most of them seem to be local papers,
That
local
sucks.
outlets that are now suffering.
Yeah.
So as much as I want to laugh about, NBC Universal cutting executive pay by 20%, as if I care.
Yeah.
Univision layoffs, furloughs, and pay cuts, as if I care. Digital media, oh, this is where it gets juicy. BuzzFeed, cut employee pay, cut AM to DM. Its morning news show, 8 people lost their jobs and had furloughs of some staff. Now, part of me wants to say, I'm sorry to these individuals who lost their jobs.
Okay.
But these outlets are just so awful.
Yeah.
And they put out garbage, fake news. Look, man, we can complain about BuzzFeed being biased.
Yeah.
And that's when they put out biased articles. Like if they write something on the culture war or politics, it's really bad.
Yeah.
But BuzzFeed wrote a story about 2 black men fighting to the death over fried chicken, which never happened.
Oh yeah, that was.
And that was
BS,
just
right?
like, yeah, it was total BS. And it seems very obvious that they were like, ooh, this will get clicks.
Yep.
And they claim to be like, they write articles always in favor of these lefty politics and ideas. And then when it's their chance to write some nonsensical rage bait that mocks, the black community and stereotypes them, oh, they're the first ones to jump on board. And I reached out to them and I was like, hey, this is not true. Here's proof. They were like, meh.
They didn't care.
They sent me a link to so the witnesses said there was no fight over a chicken sandwich. It was basically the story was like 2 guys got into a fight, 1 guy got stabbed.
Yeah.
And then
It had absolutely nothing to do with the chicken sandwich.
well, it did in the sense that
They were both in line,
they were both at Popeyes.
and that's it.
And there you go. And
Like that's
that's it.
Popeyes though, not the chicken sandwich.
Right.
What if they both didn't like chicken in general? They were like,
They
man,
wouldn't
we
be
don't
at
like chicken.
Popeyes, I guess. Well, they got fish at Popeyes.
Hey, you never know.
But the gist of it was BuzzFeed said in the headline that it was a fight over a chicken sandwich. Nobody had a chicken sandwich. Nobody had ordered one. A dude cut in line. The other dude was like, hey, don't cut in line. And the guy was like, F you. And he was like, take it outside. Guy got stabbed. That was it.
Yep.
It was a fight over cutting in line. And the dude's family was pissed because he's like, ain't nobody died over a chicken sandwich. This is BS. The media's lying.
Yeah.
And so I saw what BuzzFeed did, and I'm like, dude, that's not cool. And when I reached out to them, the response I got back was a quote from a cop saying something like, we think that people were at Popeyes because of the chicken sandwich.
Right.
And I was like, that says nothing about these 2 men and their fight.
Right.
And that was it.
I honestly,
That's BuzzFeed.
when I first heard this story, I didn't think it was true. I thought it was a PR stunt from Popeyes trying to sell the chicken sandwich.
I think
No
it was.
joke.
I think you're right.
Really?
Yeah, I agree.
Like no one actually
So-
died, or they spun it.
No,
they were
no,
like,
no.
we should use this.
Yes.
Oh.
So where did
Gross.
the narrative emerge that these guys were fighting over a chicken sandwich?
Right.
So apparently, I think Popeyes put out a statement.
Uh-huh.
I could be wrong. And they were like, we're so sorry, blah, blah, blah. The chickens. I think they were like, lean into it.
We didn't mean to make the chicken sandwich that good. It's like, wait a
No,
minute.
it
What?
was-
What did you just say?
But in all seriousness, I actually, could you look this up? Because
Yeah, let me look.
I think they did make a statement about
The
it.
statement they made?
Yeah.
And I think if I was going to make a bet, I got to be very careful because, we live in a litigious country.
Okay.
I'd be willing to bet that their PR person heard the story and was like, do it, pull the trigger, pull the trigger.
Yep.
No one should fight over these chicken sandwiches.
Yeah.
Wink.
It's not like they would ever say that though in the statement.
No, they would say something like that, like it's terrible that, you know, at the release of our new chicken sandwich, a fight broke out and something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
I can't remember exactly what happened with it, but I'd be willing to bet that's where the narrative came from. So when I look at like BuzzFeed cutting employee pay, they're shutting down their Australian news division and UK. I'm sorry, man. I'm not gonna cry.
And how about Vox? I know you're not.
Oh,
too
look
happy
at
with
this.
Vox,
Yeah,
right?
where's Vox? Vox furloughed more than 100 people for 3 months.
That's
you know
what?
what?
That's a good amount of people.
Seeing all this,
Yeah.
I almost want to cry.
In
Tears of joy.
Yeah, I was
Happiness?
gonna say.
You know, because the one way I have to explain what's going on with the digital media is that it's like you have this gigantic machine funded by venture capital.
Okay.
And I am but one person on YouTube desperately trying to like fight back against all of the lies and the smears and the fake news. And it's like trying to knock down a skyscraper with a ball peen hammer. You're just like, you're cutting away at it. And then while you're doing it, they're building more.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
So it's like ultimately you just never get anything done.
Well, you saw Shawshank, right? He escaped with the, you know, took him a while.
I'm not trying
but
to escape.
He got
I'm
out.
trying to knock it down.
Well, you know,
what I mean?
it's the same kind of thing. You're
So
beating at the stone
Big
on
project.
the wall.
I don't want these people to lose their jobs.
Yeah.
Right? But I do want the whole system to be reformed
Incredible.
and to get back. There's a really funny viral video going around right now. Some dude, I can't remember where he was. I don't know. Some local journalist was walking around a protest. Oh, it's Long Island. Yeah, we were watching this video.
Right.
And this guy is being yelled at by Trump supporters. They're like, "You're fake news. You're fake news." And he's filming it. And then it's like it's the most pathetic, like mission-driven BS news reporting. He's like, "I'll never forget what happened to me this day. Hounded and harassed. And I was just trying to tell their story."
Harumph, I say.
Harumph! Dude.
Man, that was funny. They weren't even being mean. They were just kind of
They were just
like
heckling
calling him out. Yeah.
It's funny because I've been at protests where I've been physically attacked and they're throwing explosives and smoke bombs.
Okay.
And the media defended Antifa. They were like, "But they're fighting fascists." It's like, yes, when they beat journalists, they're fighting fascists. Right, great, thanks.
Sure.
And so now that you're seeing conservatives go, "You're fake news," they're like, oh no, somebody insulted me. What do I do?
Oh, my stars and garters.
There's
Where's my group that
No, no.
support me?
Right.
There's an amazing photograph of Jim Acosta of CNN with this look on his face, like, and there's someone flicking him off, and
Awesome.
like he's looking at it like, "Ugh, like how dare you?
Harumph.
Oh no, harumph! I work for CNN. I argue with Donald Trump. You can't be mean to me." So I see this guy, right?
Okay.
And he's claiming that, you know, "Oh, I was attacked and berated and harassed, and I was simply trying to tell their story." And then he adds a line where he's like, "These are people who weren't even wearing masks during a pandemic." And I'm like, there it is.
Yep.
This guy came down and he was like, "I'm just here to tell your story." And then he jumped at the chance to be like, "Oh no, they're attacking me and they won't even wear masks." Like, dude, I can see what you're doing, man. You're not there to tell their story. You were looking for the conflict so you could play the victim. And you know what? I know you want to be like Jim Acosta, but you'll never be with in the big leagues, bro. Dude. Jim Acosta is like the Michael Jordan of fake news. You know what I mean?
Is he?
Yeah,
I'm almost
dude.
offended that you would use Michael Jordan's
That's a
name
good
in that
point.
sense.
That's not fair.
I grew up
That's
in
not-
Chicago. You did too. How dare you?
That's
not
not fair to
nice.
Michael
How
Jordan.
dare you?
But it was a testament to Michael Jordan's greatness. You know what I mean? Like,
Sure.
wow.
All right.
tier
I
cringe,
guess.
Jim
I
Acosta.
guess.
All right, who's someone infamous for doing something awful but
Bill
well?
Cosby.
Jim Acosta is the Bill Cosby of fake news.
Why would you go there?
I don't know. Yeah, what
So
is it supposed
random.
to mean?
No, I don't know. You're welcome.
Okay.
That's it. That's my last contribution.
So no, but look, Jim Acosta goes to these press events with Trump, and then he'll be like, he'll have like this big thing drawn up where he'll start talking, and then when Trump is like, "Thank you," he'll keep talking.
Okay.
He'll be like, "Next, please," and he'll keep talking. And you see this with the other CNN reporters too, where they argue with the president.
Yeah, ridiculous.
Like, did you see that one recently where that Chinese, there's a reporter, she's from CBS, but she is Chinese.
Yeah.
She asked Trump, you know, like, "Why are you trying to make this a competition?" Trump got offended, like that she asked, you know, it's a loaded question. It's like,
Right.
It's like asking, you know, "When did you stop beating your wife?"
Yeah,
So it's like,
exactly.
"Why are you treating us like a competition?" It's like, "I'm not." But so Trump was like, "Why don't you ask China?" And then she goes, and she pulls her mask off and goes, "Why did you ask me that?" That's like, wait, what? You're pretending to be angry about this.
He's literally said that before.
I know.
It's like you're talking about why I'm making it a competition with China, right? That's what the question was about?
Make a global competition.
Oh, okay.
And so I think Trump was making a point when he said, why don't you ask China? Because China's lying about their numbers.
Right.
So his point was, I'm not. They're the ones lying about their numbers. Why don't you go ask them?
Yeah.
But because she was Chinese, then Brian Stelter of CNN is like, it is racist. But anyway, I bring it up because it's a really, really good example of like asking a loaded question that there's no real answer to.
Yep.
Like, what are you supposed to say
Just
to
to
that?
get a reaction.
Like, Adam, when did you stop beating your wife?
Well, I started shaving when I was 18.
Like, what kind
wait a
of
minute,
question
what?
is that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's the go-to explanation of what a loaded question is. And so Trump gets mad about it. And then shaving. Is that are you making a reference to like my lack of facial hair for being Asian? You're racist.
Actually.
And I argue with you. Yeah, it's funny. Like people tweet at me like Tim can't grow a beard. I'm like, yeah, I know. It's
I mean, it's there.
It's 100%
kind of there.
there.
I have a
Well,
scraggly
yeah.
beard.
Well,
I know, you bigots.
I did a little grooming today. I say I don't groom. Normally I get rid of it, but I was thinking maybe grow a beard. But it was like getting a little long and annoying, so I had to
Right over the lip.
yeah, I
Yeah.
had to get a little
These are the importance.
trim a little bit there.
That's right.
Yeah.
But so anyway, it's like this guy who goes on a Long Island at this Trump event or whatever. It's he was inspired, by Jim Acosta.
Yep.
But Jim Acosta, man, he created the sport. It's like, here's what you do. You go to the press briefing, you insult the president, and then you argue with him, and then all of the resistance people start wiggling their arms in there going, like,
It's like that. Like the
gobbling.
turkeys.
Yeah.
Turkeys.
You ever see that video where the guy's in the car and there's all the turkeys in the pen and he goes, and then all the turkeys yell back,
No, that sounds amazing.
Yes.
I want it.
and then he's
I have to look that
he's
up.
laughing so hard he's crying,
Maybe he keeps
and then he
doing
goes,
it.
and then the turkeys all gobble back. That's what it is.
Yep.
So like Jim Acosta is the dude in the car gobbling, and all of the resistance anti-Trump people are the turkeys gobbling back.
Yep.
And it's like, hey man, each one of those gobbles, he then goes to an advertiser and says, hey man, I can make 100 turkeys gobble.
Yep.
How much are you gonna pay me? And they do. And then he writes a book and then he sells the turkeys books. But you get the reference, you get the analogy. So this guy shows up, tries pulling this off. And these journalists feign outrage like, but we are just trying to tell your story, and then they're lying. And this is what we get. So let's take a look at some of these outlets that are getting purged. We got BuzzFeed, VT Digger, a nonprofit digital news site in Vermont. First 3 layoffs. I don't know who they are. I'm not going to drag them. Vice cut some pay and stopped 401k matching and promotions. Oof.
What does that
Yeah.
mean? Matching. So
Matching.
they stopped like helping their employees into their 401k basically.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
yeah,
match
yeah.
your contribution. They
Yeah, so
double
if
it.
you
Yeah.
put in money, they'll put in equal amounts of a perk. The Outline laid off its staff. Wait, laid off all of them?
Oh, goodbye Outline. Never heard of it.
Wait, is that literally
never heard of it
every
either.
single? The Outline, an attempt to build a bolder kind of news website, appears to have met its
Oh,
end.
no.
Wait, go back up to the. It's not for everyone. It's for you.
Well, that's not a big enough audience.
They're not talking to their employees.
Right.
Yeah, one audience member isn't enough to sustain the company. I'm sorry.
Seriously.
Unless the one audience member is Elon Musk and he's paying a subscription
Yeah.
of $100,000 a month or something.
No.
So
What
what
a
else?
shame.
What else do we have? We have Bustle Digital Group laid off 24 staffers. Oh, cry me a river.
Right.
What is Bustle? They're like the.
They're a ladies thingy. I don't
Oh,
know.
that's right. Yeah, that's right. What do we got? Elite Daily, Inverse, Mike, Nylon, The Outline.
Oh, Mike.
Oh, The
Bye-bye,
Outline's
Mike.
gone though. Oh no, the Zoe Report.
Oh my
I
gosh.
have no idea
What
what
will
that
I
is.
do without them? Who
I'm
are
pretty
they?
sure all of these people, like, they're mostly friends with each other. And I know this because I worked for Vice. I worked for some of these companies, and they hang out with each other.
Okay.
And they're all probably like sitting around complaining and smack talking. They're about us for calling them out. Like I
Oh,
care.
I'm sure. Yeah.
G-
Bring it on.
GO Media, which includes Jezebel, Deadspin, The Root, and The Onion, laid off 14 employees. Womp.
14. Oh.
Group 9, 7% of its staff. They're the Dodo, Thrillist, and Now This. Ooh, Now This.
Oh, bye-bye.
That makes me feel good.
Oh, I'm
See,
sorry.
the
I
president.
don't know most of these.
Now This is fake news.
Okay.
They create viral rage bait for Facebook, or they used to,
Mm-hmm.
and it would be like super loaded statements. And at VidCon several years ago, the president on stage said they had partnered with anti-Trump activists at the highest level for producing content or something. I filmed it. I published it. As I was like, wow, that's a bold statement for the president of a venture capital-backed news outlet to say straight up, we are anti-Trump activists. They direct our content.
Wow.
So sad to see you go. The Hill was implementing pay cuts. Now that's sad. The Hill is
I don't
good.
like that. Yeah.
The Hill is very
Is it?
good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, The Hill is very good. Altus, I-24, and Cheddar. I don't care about them. They're fine. They talk about pop culture stuff or whatever. Vox furloughed more than 100 people for 3 months.
Oh.
Yeah, that I'm okay with. Protocol had laughed. I don't know them. The Skim, Insider Louisville, and Curbed Atlanta. Not sure who they are.
Well, look. Curbed Atlanta said it's a Vox Media newsroom.
Up, let them go. Get them out.
We'll stop
out,
publishing
out,
for
out.
3 months. Its editor was furloughed.
Oh, no.
Get 'em out.
Bye, Vox.
And Quartz, they laid off. Quartz laid off 80 people.
Yeah.
Yeah, Quartz isn't that bad.
I don't know
I
Quartz.
mean, it's just digital media.
Yeah.
So let's see, magazines. Ooh, they have an update. So apparently they keep adding stuff. Condé Nast. Wow, I have no problem with that.
That's huge.
I don't know what some of these other things are. Time Out. I don't care about that. You know, I'll be honest, man. A lot of these cuts, they are bummers. You know, it's sad to see local news outlets taking hits. Local papers aren't that bad. We need local journalism because when you've got, you know, a town like, you know, I don't know, Podunk or Bumpkinville.
Okay, Bumpkinville.
Yeah, Bumpkinville.
Sounds like
And
a fun place.
the Bumpkinville Gazette or the Bumpkinville Bugle writes about the mayor
Every
and
time you say that.
Bumpkinville.
I love it so
I don't know
much.
why.
I want to move
I
there.
can't stop giggling.
Okay, well,
Bumpkinville.
Bugle, yes.
the Bumpkinville Bugle covers issues of like the mayor and stuff, and you're not going to get that from the New York Times. The New York
Right.
Times won't write about, you know, the mayor of a town of 1,000, you know, called Bumpkinville.
Yeah.
But the Bugle will. So if you live there, it's important you learn about these things. So when local outlets start taking hits and laying people off, that's when it gets bad.
Yeah.
One of the scariest things that came up in the digital age, you know, 10 years ago, was as these local outlets started going away,
Okay.
local corruption started going up. Because if you've got a city councilman or whatever who's stealing money, a local journalist would typically be like, I'm investigating this. Haha, I've uncovered it.
Yeah.
Cops don't, you know, they're not going to investigate this. The feds aren't going to come in. It's the public access information gathering intelligence. But now that everyone's drifting towards, you know, hot, like national and international level conversation in politics, nobody's covering local news anymore. Except for the local outlets do. That's why it's sad to see them start taking these hits.
Yeah, they're important.
But one of the big problems is that one of the reasons they're taking hits is because they're being displaced by BuzzFeed, by Vox, by Huffington Post. Because these local outlets need to find a way to become relevant and to make money. But traffic is essentially stolen by bigger news outlets.
Makes sense.
It's like, you know,
Especially if a certain tube is pushing them on everybody.
yeah.
Talking about you, tube.
You know, I do think about how local affiliates are really, really bad at using social media.
Okay.
And why isn't, you know, local news outlet making a YouTube channel and generating traffic and stuff like that? There is a challenge, right? If you were in a town of 1,000 people, you would make money by advertising local services. But
Okay.
now these people just they buy the ads straight on Google and Facebook.
Yep.
So now Google and Facebook are sucking all that money out of these smaller towns, and then the local papers have no advertising.
Yep.
Then they go under.
Now, who gets the paper anymore? You know?
Yeah, I mean, old people.
Yep. Old people.
I think it's funny too, because like, there's going to come a point where people are going to be arguing, you know, saying something similar to us, like, you get your news from the internet, like, and they're going to be getting it in some other way or something.
Maybe, yeah.
I don't know. Well,
Straight from their Neuralink.
yeah, they're Neuralink, man.
Right.
Yeah, they're gonna have a feed constantly just knowing everything. I mean, maybe in 100 years, but I think we do get set in our ways, like every person does. We get used to the platforms we use. Young people start using different platforms, and who knows what news is going to be like? Could you imagine like TikTok news?
No.
Where it's like
Gosh.
some
No.
17,
Seconds.
yeah, some 17-year-old girl dancing to like Tears for Fears while holding up like a paper, and it says like, you know, Trump impeached, and like that's the news in the future. I don't know, man. I don't know. Who knows what's going to be
Now,
like?
that sounds like she's from Bumpkinville.
Yeah, sure does.
No,
What
that
she's up
sounds
to
like
over
a
there.
like when you look at a lot of these companies and how they manipulated Facebook,
Yeah.
you know, to get those links, they didn't care about news that actually mattered. They care about stories that will get the most shares,
Right.
and so that's what drives Facebook right now.
You know, one thing I see here, go ahead, give me the article.
Which
There
one?
you
It says NBC Universal is cutting executive pay by 20%. See, like that, why aren't we seeing more of that all across the board here? Like cutting executive pay. They make way too much money.
Because they don't want to cut their pay, dude.
I know.
Yeah.
But that
do you mean?
solves a lot of issues,
It could,
doesn't it?
I mean, we got problems with the lockdown as it is, and that's the next segment we're going to be talking about. The lockdown is busted.
Yeah.
And we got some data for that. But look, man, people get a bailout, these big corporations.
Yep.
Golden parachutes for the executives.
Exactly.
You know, yeah. We're safe, everybody. Everyone's gonna get an emergency paycheck. But after 2 weeks, you're in trouble. Bob, on the other hand, we got a $10 million bonus, buddy, and the parachute is made of pure gold. And then he falls to his death.
Yeah, I was gonna
Don't
say,
use this, by the way.
Don't use that
Wait,
gold
right.
It's just to show
parachute.
off.
It's just to sell later on.
Yeah.
Don't actually try it. You'll drop like a rock. It'll actually make you fall faster.
Yeah, it'll speed things up.
Well, it won't, actually. That's not how gravity works, but, So I don't know, man. A lot of businesses are going under. And while I want to say it's really bad, nah, it is really bad.
Yeah,
it is.
it seems really bad.
No, because even though I don't like these people, it's a major disruption to the economy. But I wonder if there will be an improvement because what's I want to equate some of these news outlets to a thing that slowly starts growing and absorbing nutrients and resources from the body until it becomes a weighted detriment.
I got this. Cancer.
Oh, I didn't say it. Adam, wow,
that was a guess. That was a guess.
bold.
I was just
Whoa.
guessing. I was just guessing what you were thinking.
These outlets.
Was I right?
Yeah. Yes. These outlets are siphoning away resources, exploiting the system, producing garbage information that's making people go insane, and it's a detriment on the minds, the psyche, and the culture of our country.
My next guess was tapeworm.
So you know what I was
similar.
thinking, right? Think about what's going on with the economy.
Okay.
And I mentioned this earlier in one of my videos. It's like we were poisoned, and the poison, the lockdown, is killing large portions of the body, but not totally killing the body itself, right? Almost like chemo.
Yeah, I was gonna say like
Okay.
radiation.
Purging a lot of unnecessary BS, layoffs at all these companies, only essential functions, and then maybe one. I know that everything ultimately is bad.
Yeah.
But there could be one benefit that in the end, more essential businesses rise up and we get rid of a lot of this non-essential wasted space that was actually causing us problems and hurting us.
Okay.
So that's a maybe. I don't know for sure.
I could see it. I can see the parallels.
Yeah, but how about this? Let's talk about what's going on with the lockdown. And I have this tweet from Brett Weinstein. So for those that aren't familiar with Brett, he is a professor in exile. Evolutionary Trade-Offs, Telomeres, Senescence, and Cancer. The Dark Horse podcast. Brett is a smart fella. And he has this tweet. It is insane that as the evidence for vitamin D protective effect mounts, and though it appears the virus is very rarely transmitted outdoors, we continue to instruct people to stay indoors where CoV2 is easily transmitted and where they can't make vitamin D. And he's linking this tweet to Joe Rogan. It says vitamin D may reduce susceptibility to COVID-19 associated lung injury.
Hold on. Do you think all those people that were suntanning their bums are like, yeah,
I
that's
got
right.
this.
We are so protected against COVID.
Think about what this. Well, so let's think about this for a second.
You know what I'm talking about?
I know.
People-
Unfortunately, the bum tanning.
Yeah, the bum tanning.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
The people bum tanning aren't thinking about anything.
They're not.
No, you
don't
don't
have
think so?
brains.
They're not thinking about this.
Maybe.
They didn't read the article about vitamin
Maybe they're
D.
like, I'm just trying to get my vitamin D in, man.
Sure.
So, but think about what's going on right now with all
I'm
the
having fun today.
Think about what's going on with the lockdowns, economic collapse.
Yep.
California's, Los Angeles says we're going to extend it for 3 months or until we have a cure.
Crazy.
The Supreme Court of Wisconsin struck down the extension, and almost immediately all the bars popped open and
Yep.
were flooded.
I'm sure.
People shoulder to shoulder, partying, drinking, like, woo, freedom.
yeah.
Yeah. So one of the things that we've talked about, and a lot of the data we've seen, first of all, the mortality rate's a lot lower than we thought. The infection rate is high relative to other, illnesses. So this is still dangerous, and you got to pay attention. Focus on, be safe. That's the easiest way to put it.
Yeah.
We can't sustain this lockdown, and even now, like the Los Angeles Times and other outlets are pointing out, the poor will suffer from this.
Yeah.
So finally, they're getting on board. We're still seeing this weird split where, there's red states and blue states. But this is the crazy thing. The data has shown us that you're more likely to get this if you're indoors, staying home.
Yep.
It's 66% of people who've contracted it during the lockdown were staying at home.
Yep.
Because going outside is good, sunlight is good, and you're less likely to touch the same things if you're out in the open
Makes
as
sense.
opposed to being in the house. So
Yep.
And getting all that vitamin D.
Yep.
and getting all that vitamin D. So who is going to be most negatively impacted by this?
Older
City-
people.
city
Susceptible
folk.
people. Yeah.
City folk. Yeah.
City folk
Yeah.
who are in their cubicle-like box apartments with very little sunlight,
Yep.
generating that vitamin D deficiency, because many of them are probably eating trash they just order, right? They're not well, maybe that's not fair to say, because I'm sure they're eating similarly to it. No, I wonder.
I don't know. I read an article earlier about how basically the really rich can afford staying in and are all right with it, and the really poor are staying in.
So you're saying
like the middle class are going out and about.
But does the really rich include, like, how did they break that down? Is it saying like by income?
I was gonna bring it up, but it was really, really long, and it was riddled with stories of stuff that made no sense to the article. So I was nah.
If they did a general like income bracket, then New Yorkers have substantially higher income.
Okay.
So they can afford, many of them, to stay inside and not have vitamin D.
Okay.
And then get sick.
Interesting.
And you've got
their immune systems.
poor middle Americans go out on the porch.
That's what those 2 doctors in California were talking about. They're basically saying if we stay inside, we're losing our natural immune system that we build constantly. Like they were talking about, like the human body has viruses on it all the time.
Oh yeah.
Nonstop. Always. We're always fighting off bacteria and infections constantly. So if we stay inside and we don't get sun, then our immune systems are just going to go away. So the next time we go out, if we do actually get the COVID, whatever, you're going to get hit 10 times as hard because you have no immune system anymore.
I don't know enough about how immune systems work.
Well, that's what their whole video was about. They were talking about that.
Yeah.
That's basically, and then it got taken down. It's like,
Oh yeah.
And it kept getting taken down, and I'm pretty sure it's still being,
So
taken down.
To make the throwback point, forgive me if I'm gonna not gonna complain about BuzzFeed, which is trying to get videos banned. Not that I'm a fan of Plandemic or any of these other videos, but we need to have a discussion about whether or not we should or shouldn't reopen. Now, here's where it gets really, really funny. I wonder if YouTube will ban us for talking about how the lockdown needs to be lifted.
Think they would?
Well, so they've gone after channels who have been like, the lockdown is BS, don't wear masks, things like that.
Yeah.
But Wisconsin just ruled it unconstitutional.
Hold on. Boku is sitting on that really expensive instrument.
Oh, is he?
Kitty break. Yay.
There's
I wish
a
I
cat
could show a
causing
picture.
troubles.
Yeah. What's new?
What was he sitting on?
The mixer.
Oh,
Mixer. Oh yeah.
that sounds
not
like something
okay.
a cat would do.
Yeah.
Looking for ways to destroy it.
That was very expensive.
Well, now we're talking about cats. I don't even know what we were talking about before.
I'm sorry. I didn't want anything to happen to that because
We were talking about the
It's a
lockdown.
really important.
Well, I know we were
Yes,
talking
we
about the
really need
lockdown.
that.
so.
Yeah.
And vitamins.
Are we gonna get banned for talking
Yeah,
about the
right.
lockdown?
So-
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
What are we supposed to?
Anywho.
What am I supposed to say right now when Wisconsin says you can't lock down, Michigan says you have to lock down?
Yeah.
What am I
Which
gonna?
is it?
Yeah, which
Yeah.
is it?
Which is it?
Is YouTube gonna ban me?
Ooh.
Which one do I get banned for now? I have no idea. The World Health Organization praised Sweden that didn't lock down,
Yep.
but then the U.S. was like everybody got to lock down. So I don't know what I can or can't say. I have no idea.
And not all of the U.S. Some states were like, we're not locking down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
some states are opening up again.
And they're fine.
This is the
That's fine,
funny.
yeah.
This is the funniest thing. Like,
What's going on?
when it comes to the election, do people do these anti-Trump people think that the Americans will blame Donald Trump for their governor locking their state down?
Do you think the Dem states are just trying to hold it off as long as possible so maybe they can just win something
Do they think
sneakily?
people are that stupid though?
Something Trump said.
Maybe.
What did Trump
Honestly,
say?
I think so.
What did Trump said?
Yeah, so Trump said he thinks that they are trying to keep the economy shut down until the election. And I was like, holy cow, can that be right? And then the more I thought about it, the more I was like, maybe. The
Yep.
economy was doing really, really well.
That's what I was alluding to.
But
Yeah.
that's just blue states that are already going to give their electoral votes to Donald Trump anyway. that's why it's like. So there's a CNN poll showing that Trump is up in all the battleground states.
Yeah.
Trump's got his secret voter base. So I don't know if that makes sense because the Democratic states that are enforcing these lockdowns are sabotaging themselves. Like we were talking about this before.
It's true.
About emotion versus logical politicking.
Yep.
Where if you had an apartment and there was one guy who was constantly, like you're a bunch of roommates and he was like, everybody's got to pitch in their fair share to clean up, everyone would groan. And the one guy would be like, if you make me in charge of the house, everybody gets pizza. They'd be like, yeah, pizza. And then the house falls apart because it's easy and,
Yep.
they vote for the easy thing to do. Mm-hmm. Well, now you've got a bunch of people that clearly want to go to the bars. Like Wisconsin, everybody flooded to the bars. They didn't care. I wouldn't do that.
I wouldn't either.
I wouldn't do. But hey, man, people want to.
Bars are too expensive. I like drinking out.
But people
Yeah,
were
for sure.
restaurants and stuff and barber shops. Like people were like, I don't care. I'm
True.
going out.
Yeah, it's true.
These people are not happy with their Democratic governors. Man, you think about what happened in this pandemic, and I'll tell you what, I wouldn't be surprised if conservatives greatly outnumber Democrats when this is all over. Everyone buying guns,
Yep.
figuring out what's the laws are like, and now they're, You see that viral video where the gun shop owner was complaining about first-time gun buyers?
No, was he?
He
What
was
did
like,
say?
really was.
he's like, I swear, these first-time gun buyers, you come into my store, you can't get the weapon. No, you can't pay me more to get it faster. You got background checks, you got waiting periods. How about the next time someone tries to take your stuff away, you vote against it?
Yeah.
He got really angry.
Good for him.
Because in LA,
He should.
yeah, man. In LA, these people are showing up like, oh no, the world is in, we're an emergency. I better get a weapon. And it's like, where were you when everyone was saying, like, now you're coming in and shocked
Yep.
that these are the laws you voted for.
Wait, I can't get a gun now? Yeah, because you voted to make it hard to get
It's
a
not
gun.
You'll
that-
recall.
It's you voted for these people,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, speaking of that, though, apparently there was an amendment to, I think it was the Patriot Act, that would have taken away the ability of the government to spy on browsing history.
Okay.
And it was relatively bipartisan, but it was mostly Democrats who were voting to amend it to remove this power, and it was mostly Republicans who voted against it.
Huh.
It failed by one vote, so the government retains the power to warrantlessly get your browser history.
It's ridiculous.
Messed
Great.
up.
Yeah, that's messed
And that's
up.
this is the problem I have when people are like, you got to vote for the Republicans. I'm like, why? So they can empower the federal government's FISA search powers. They just did they just extended FISA powers, and it was like an 80 to 16 vote. Like all these like bipartisan support for him. You know what, man? The Democrats want to come out and complain. Donald Trump is a fascist. We must stop him. But let's vote to give him more executive
giving
authority.
him
This is
more
fantastic.
power?
That's why
Yeah.
it's so all fake. It's all fake, man.
Yep. They all want the power.
Right. They're
All of them.
like, well, when I'm in office, I definitely want to be able to warrantly, spy on American citizens. So I got to vote for it now. But anyway, back to the lockdown.
Yeah.
I think these Democratic governors are like, oof, they're ending their, like they're destroying their careers.
It feels like it, yeah.
Who's gonna want to vote for them?
Especially Whitmer. It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
she is
she's
the
losing
Queen
it.
Karen.
Come on.
Oh, man, she is.
does look like a
Professor
queen.
Umbridge.
Queen
Professor
Karen.
Umbridge. She is Queen Karen, man.
Yeah, she really is.
Check this out. This
Oh,
is
man.
crazy. This is crazy. This
there we
so
go.
people are getting really mad about this, I guess.
Oh, of course they are.
Supervisor Jim Desmond publishes video messages calling for immediate reopening of San Diego County businesses. Apparently, he said something like "rise up," and people like I don't know if that's a real quote. That's what
didn't
people
hear
were
that.
sharing. You didn't see him say that?
I was listening to it. Yeah, I didn't hear that.
I didn't listen to the full thing. It's 5 minutes
maybe
long.
at the end.
Well, maybe he did. Maybe he didn't. Let's just find out. Oh, no, he said "rise to the challenge."
Oh.
He didn't say "rise up."
Okay, rise
Okay,
to
so
the challenge.
people were being hyperbolic. But he basically points out, he makes some really, really great points. Without going into everything, here's a guy who's smart. Go to the small mom and pop shops that are having their businesses destroyed.
Yep.
And I'll tell you what they're going to tell you. Why is it that I sell clothing, but Walmart gets to stay open selling clothing and I can't?
Yep.
Why are the big box stores and the corporations being benefited from this lockdown? Why am I being held back?
Yep.
And these Democratic governors who are like, and the media, they're rooting for the billionaires while pretending like they're not.
I don't get it.
I don't know, man. I think there's no principle behind what they're saying. It's just, I'm angry.
Yep.
I'll tell you what, though, I'm looking forward to going to the movies.
I can't
I
wait.
want to go out to
I want to go.
eat.
I want to go bowling.
Bowling.
Yeah.
I brought my bowling ball across the country to bowl again. I even have my bowling shoes. That's right. They still fit me from when I was 11.
What?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Bowling?
Yeah,
Wow.
I got
Holy
I got bowling shoes at 11. Yeah, but you know what? When I was younger, I would always say I was size 12. My feet are size 12, but it was too big. And
So
then
you
my
grew
bowling
into it.
shoes, I got them a little smaller because I was not a size 12. I mean, my shoes are always way too big for me.
I wonder how
So
many
they
people.
still fit.
I wonder how many people actually want to go out though. You know,
I bet a lot of people.
would you go
think
bowling right
they-
now?
Definitely, if I could.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Jam-packed, sweaty,
The bowling
hot-
alley's right there.
But I'm saying like
yes.
jam packed, tons of people, all breathing and sweaty and touching everything.
Yeah, I really want to go bowling.
I feel
I'd
yeah.
go to the movies.
I'd go out
I'd
to
totally
eat
go to
Same
the
for
movies.
sure.
thing.
Yeah.
Same
Nah.
thing. Person behind you coughs.
Not
boom.
necessarily.
Sneezes. Two rows back, sneezes. Boom, all over you.
Yeah.
You
But you're not
just
handling
sit
the
in
same
sit in the
bowling
corner.
balls.
I've got my own bowling ball.
That's true. You do.
I
You're
don't
really
have to. I don't have to put my hands in other people's holes. Oof. That's right. I said that.
Phrasing.
Phrasing.
All right. Yeah.
Oh, I'm having such a good time today.
Oh man. Adam's causing trouble.
Oh man, this is
It's
great.
kind of a weird. It's been a weird experience, man.
Yeah.
You know, it's been weird. I'm about ready for it to be over.
Once in a lifetime,
too.
I hope.
I'm ready.
Like I wasn't that impacted by it. We work from the
Yep.
home studio, so I wasn't that impacted by.
I'm a
when-
gamer.
when they
I
lock
just
things down.
Game
Yeah.
video games and
We got a skate park.
podcast.
It's great.
We have a skate
Skate
park.
park. in the
Yeah,
backyard.
man.
We got
dude,
we got a
we've been
fire pit.
skating
We
like
got
crazy.
We're so
Yeah, we
lucky.
just been skating the ramp. I'm like, I don't know. It kind of I like going out and having like powwows at restaurants, like sitting down talking about stuff.
It's true.
And
I do miss that too.
And what I miss too is non-political conversations
Yeah.
because there was
Yes, that's all it is nowadays.
because
I know, it's-
COVID and politics.
because when you can't leave, nothing happens.
Right.
And so it's just like, I don't know, the one thing that has to happen, the people who are still getting paid and still working are doing stuff. That's what's crazy about all of this. The journalists are still getting paid, the politicians are still getting paid, and they're the ones mostly being like, lock everything down.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yeah, okay, how about we stop paying you? And then we can, then we can have that conversation about who, what we should or shouldn't
Yeah,
do.
you don't seem very essential.
Nah. I don't know, man. What are you looking forward to the most when you get your freedom back? Outside of bowling. You mentioned bowling.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Yeah, I don't know. Probably going and checking out Philadelphia. I went to high
Oh, yeah,
school.
get
I went
those
to high
wins.
school here. Yeah, going.
Oh, that's funny. Like right when you got here, they locked
Yeah,
everything
I
down.
got here. I'm like, man, I haven't been here as an adult. I get to like really experience this place that I loved as a kid. I had a lot of really good friends, in this area. I would like to meet them all. And as adults, we can like go out. Yeah, it's cool. I really remember Philadelphia being an awesome city. And I was able to go like twice since I got here, and it sucks. Like I really
Maybe-
want to go explore.
Maybe it's time to move to Texas, man.
and leave Philadelphia, but I want to experience Philadelphia.
No, I'm saying because Philadelphia, PA, I think extended the lockdown.
I know, yeah, that's what they said.
Yeah, so even if first of all, New Jersey's not going to extend because North Jersey is basically New York Metro.
Right,
Pennsylvania, so we're in the thick of it, man.
I know.
Joe Rogan mentioned in passing, he might want to move to Texas. I say that mentioning in passing because the media loves to like latch on anything he says,
Yeah.
and then light it on fire. He's like, I might vote for Bernie, and then they're like, Joe Rogan endorses Bernie Sanders.
Well,
It's like,
Bernie ran it as an ad.
I know, man. That was
Oh,
that was
rude.
dirty.
I didn't
That was
like
dirty.
that.
Dirty.
Dirty move, man.
Yep.
That was dirty.
Could you imagine like one day it's like there's an ad with you being like, yeah, I might vote for the guy, and it's out of context and like, yeah, but he said he might move to Texas, and so I'm thinking, yeah, he's got a point, man. I don't know about Texas though.
They have miniature cows there, Tim.
They have miniature cows in Texas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Done.
Yep.
Decision is made.
Sold it. There you go.
We're gonna have
What?
so many miniature cows.
No.
We were looking
Why?
for cows
Why
all
not,
the way
bro?
across the country. It was amazing.
What do you mean?
They're amazing.
Little cows?
Yes.
They're
Okay.
running
They're
around,
like up to your hip. They're
making
so cute.
making little milk, and
I'm good.
and then you
Oh,
you
man.
got little cows, man,
They're so cute.
and they
We could rescue cows.
eat grass.
Oh yeah, they do.
I'm not gonna
grass.
eat the cows.
Well, good.
No, you have the
just
cows and you
raise
hang out with them, man.
Yeah, they're your friends.
Like,
I hear cows like music.
they do.
Yeah, they do.
They like jamming.
Yeah, you go play
Yep.
music in the field.
We should like make like a drum pad system so they
Mm-hmm.
can walk and hit drums and they'd be like, oh, what's that? Boom.
There was a
boom. Boom.
there was a
be
viral
awesome.
Reddit
Cow
post.
jams.
Yeah, man.
There was a Reddit viral Reddit post the other
There we
day
go.
about something called like the Kolning or something.
The what?
The Kolning or something.
Kolning.
It's a Swedish song they sing to cows.
Okay.
And
Cows
all the
love
cows
it.
come running over to this woman who's singing, and they all like stand and watch.
So
I've seen
cute.
videos of people doing like playing
Yep.
trumpet.
And the cows are
Coming
like, they
up.
all come to watch, and they're like, what is this?
Wow, that is a great sound.
Yeah.
That's so
Cows are
cute.
jamming, bro.
Oh man.
Cows are cool.
Maybe it's
go to
because
Texas.
we artificially selected them.
They are
And
they are
so-
cool animals. I hung out with cows before. They're
They're
cool.
so neat.
Yeah.
Yeah, my uncle has a farm. He's got some cows.
Maybe back in the day when we were breeding cows, the people who were breeding them would like be jamming out on their lute or whatever.
Yeah, the cowboys used to play.
Yeah. And the
Yeah.
cows would come on by and they'd be like, I like this one. Let's make
Yeah.
more of them.
The mouth.
Yeah, yeah.
What is the
little
mouth harp?
Yeah.
Oh,
and
yeah.
harmonica and stuff. Yeah.
But we could
Cool.
have chickens. Somebody, what was that funny super chat we got the other day? They were like, Americans harp on about their freedom, but you can't even own chickens.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like,
That
well,
stung a little bit.
freedom, the right to own chickens.
It's
right.
it's honestly it's the closer you are to a big city, the less
Yeah.
you can be rural.
the less you can do anything.
Basically.
Seriously.
It's
Yeah,
so annoying.
basically.
Yeah, because everyone's crammed together.
Yeah.
And
they
it's
get
like
crazy.
They say, your rights end where my rights begin or whatever. Like the general idea is because everybody is different in what they're willing to accept,
Okay.
they make like there's a lowest common denominator to what is legal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if you're in the middle of nowhere, who's going to complain? It's like you could light a flaming arrow and fire it straight up and then run.
Sounds like fun.
Sounds smart.
No, but I'm right. I mean, it's like a very stupid thing to do, but you got no neighbors. As long as you don't like burn a forest down or something, nobody's going to care.
Okay.
You do that in a city, and you're going to be arrested in charge of terrorism or something
Right.
ridiculous.
Probably.
They're going to come for you, and they're going to be like, "Are you nuts?" Like you can live it like I know some people who live in the middle of nowhere. They got a bunch of guns, and they go in the back, and they have like a shooting area set up, and like they have a range and everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but my buddy in Texas got
That's
a
how I
range
was
in his
raised.
backyard.
There's a
Yeah.
funny viral meme where it's like there's a target on a fence in a suburban area, so there's neighbors right next door, and it shows like it's like a woman with like a rifle, and she's pointing at the fence,
Yeah.
firing at the target, and it's like it's clearly not real,
Right.
But the joke is like firing into the neighbor's yard or whatever, and then a bunch of like lefty people are getting triggered by it, like what? These people are nuts, and it's like it's not real. That's the joke. Yeah. Yeah, but man,
You're falling for the rights memes again.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Because we can meme.
this lockdown stuff has really made me want to accelerate, not necessarily bugging out, but just getting more space to do more stuff. Like,
Yeah.
so we Adam and I had this 5-acre Miami place,
Yeah.
and we had a 22 pellet gun and a bunch of CO2 cartridges, and we would just like,
I still have that gun.
oh, you do?
I do.
In
yeah.
Arizona?
It's in Arizona. Yeah.
It's not bad. What was it, like a Remington or something?
it's pretty good. It's pretty
Yeah, it's
legit,
brutal.
dude. That thing
Yeah.
would. I mean, you probably kill somebody with that.
Yeah, totally.
You hit him in the eye,
Absolutely.
or soft spot in the
Side
temple.
of the head
I
or
don't know.
something.
Yeah, something.
I mean, if you're close enough, it'll go right through their head.
Probably,
That thing
yeah.
was brutal. It was a 22.
Things-
It was-
yeah, it's crazy.
But it was air, so I think it was like 17 feet. What were the feet per second? It was intense,
No
right?
idea. No idea.
But we would put little CO2 cans and then put it down, and we'd like ping, and then it would go and it would
We'd also blow up lithium batteries.
that was
Oh
fun.
man. Those are troublemakers.
We had a lot of fun in Miami.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no
but that's
kidding.
when you have space, you can do whatever you want.
True. That's true.
So
no one cared.
I couldn't imagine being one of these city folk, trapped in New York City. Mm-hmm. It's like people are gonna turn into the Joker, man.
Probably.
They're like, I've seen some weird videos. Like people are doing someone had like a studio apartment, and they made a stop motion on their floor.
Okay.
Like mounted the camera, and then because like, what else are you gonna do? You're basically in prison,
Stinks, yeah.
But I think that's why in New York they've all been going out disregarding all the orders.
Yeah.
And so then who really gets impacted by it? Poor people, I guess. Not the rich New Yorkers.
Yep.
They can afford to deal with it. Nobody will mess with them. They pay, that tends to be how it goes.
Yeah.
But I mean, for us here, I haven't really noticed anything. I've gone out and there's been no issues. I mean, they're selling
Yeah.
masks everywhere.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, it's a law, I guess, in Jersey that you have to wear a mask.
Okay.
Period. If you go out, you have to be wearing a mask.
Well, I mean, it's not that hard to wear a mask. So
It's not that bad.
What if this is like
they should just open it up and everyone
Who-
just wear a mask. Wash
Yeah,
your
it
hands.
works.
Wash your
Yeah.
hands. Keep it clean. Mm-hmm.
How many-
It's not hard.
how many people do you think, or I don't know how to ask this question, but I imagine there's a lot of people who are going to get really ripped and a lot of people who are going to get really out of shape,
Okay.
Yeah.
depending on like the sport you do.
That's true.
Like if I was in New York, like we wouldn't be skateboarding, so we wouldn't be doing any exercise. But we're out here. We got a backyard. We got a mini ramp and a flat, so we're skating all the time.
Yeah, that's true.
Getting exercise.
Mm-hmm.
There's probably a lot of people that are probably losing it because they can't play basketball or they can't play football and they're trapped in a cubicle.
Yeah, man. I
And
feel
there's
bad
some-
for those people.
But I imagine a lot of them are probably doing exercises and stuff inside.
Yeah.
Just doing whatever. There was a funny video where it's like a bunch of people were protesting for having, to get gyms to reopen.
Yeah.
So they started doing push-ups and squats on the ground.
Perfect.
And then everybody was like,
Wait.
what?
Why don't you just do that?
Yeah,
Do this,
exactly.
This is how it works.
You're literally working out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So we got we have another segment that we're gonna jump over to.
So let's do super chats first.
You don't want to do the last segment?
No, I don't want to get lost.
Okay. All right. What are we
All right,
doing?
we're gonna do super chats.
All right. Quick super chats.
Super chats. Make sure y'all, if you want to get in the super chats, ask questions before we talk about the Anti-Civil Liberties Union.
What up?
They
yeah.
no longer support civil liberties, so we're going to talk about.
We can make fun of them. Great.
It's an issue of not necessarily men's rights; it's civil rights. It's the right of the for due process. But the ACLU is now opposing it.
Yeah.
But let's read some super chats.
Yeah.
We will take your questions. Just us. Thanks to super chat says Beanie Gang. That's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
George Wood says, Yo, Tim, love the show. Donated a few times in the last 2 weeks. How do you think the whole Obamagate situation is going to play out? Arrests? My prediction right now, low-level arrests, FBI agents, not high-ranking officials, and I think they're going to slowly release this information and make some moves as we get closer to the election for two reasons. If Donald Trump doesn't get reelected, they lose their chance. More importantly, these actions help Donald Trump get reelected. But Joe Biden, man, he's dirty. That guy's
People are saying the audio is bad. The audio went out.
Audio went out. What?
Says your mic is weird. I hear you fine.
I think I fixed it. Did I fix it? Something weird just happened.
Give it a second.
I don't know. Everyone, I mean, we don't know if the mic is dead.
Metallic. Tim's mic died. What?
It died.
It says it died. It
Nope.
says unplugged.
I think it's working now.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I
Wait a
think
minute.
we're good. I think we're good. Are we good?
Should
We're
be good.
Good?
Yeah.
You got to wait 30 seconds because of the delay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, someone's saying an echo. Audio is still.
Yeah.
We're
There was
getting a feedback loop.
the mute button popped off. That's what happened. So
Okay.
we have a bunch of different
Yeah.
cameras, and each one has
Thanks, chat.
its own independent.
Appreciate
audio
you
source.
guys. I'm watching.
Yep.
I got you.
All right, here we go. Let's see. George Wood says, "Yo, Tim, love the show. Done it a few times in the last 2 weeks." Oh, I read that. I literally okay. Dan Bordeaux says, "Got some money, so I figured I'd send all y'all a super chat because I sent Lydia that Thomas Paine quote on talking with illogical people to give you Tim."
That was super cool.
Yeah, sweet.
I gotta find it. We gotta read it.
Oh, Jesus is here. Oof.
Wait, what?
Yes.
what?
Let me, I
The real?
not wearing
The
my
real
formal,
Jesus?
Not wearing my formal beanie. I feel
what the heck?
underdressed.
I really want to see this formal beanie.
No, that's not fair. I think it's Jesus.
Ah.
Here is my weekly due to the Beanie Union. Can you imagine how offended SJWs would be if they were subjected to the comments that went on in the game lobbies of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2? They would not survive. No, they wouldn't. I remember the first time I ever played Call of Duty.
Mm-hmm.
I was at my friend's house.
Okay.
And he was playing some kind of like online multiplayer.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Here, play." And I'm like, "I don't know how to play this. I don't like FPS." He's like, "Just play." He was like, "I go to the bathroom." And so he gives me the headset.
Yeah.
And then I hear people smack talking or whatever. And then he was like, "Here's how you do melee. Here's the weapons." And I started actually doing really, really well.
Yeah.
And then he came back and started laughing. And then he took the headset and started talking mad smack to everybody,
Yeah.
making fun of them for being losers. He's like, "My friend's a dumbass who's never played this game before. You guys are..." He's swearing a lot more than that. And it was funny. And I'm like,
That was borderline.
I was like, is this is this like
This
is
how it
this the
works?
cultural colloquial conversation? Is this
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yes.
It
He was
is.
like, "I'm being friendly." He's like spitting and swearing. And
Oh my gosh.
That's funny.
Yep.
Christian says, "I used to have terrible allergies that would cause me to nosebleed terribly.
Oh, no.
Went to live in Ireland for a couple months and boom, gone."
Oh,
Magic.
Wow. No allergies, huh?
Forever?
cool.
Gone?
Gone.
Secure.
Cool.
Yeah.
Go to Ireland, Tim.
Yeah.
There you go. That's
There it
the cure.
is.
I've been to Ireland.
Bring back some
it
some
didn't
good
work.
whiskey.
Oh.
I've
You
been to
want
Ireland.
whiskey.
I like
Okay,
Scottish
I
whiskey
got it.
more.
Didn't,
but-
didn't cure my allergies.
Oh,
No.
what the heck?
No.
Shame.
Where are we at?
It's
Where are
because
we
you
at?
didn't bring me the whiskey.
That's true. Big LC says, "Welcome back to the First Church of Soy Jesus. I'm Reverend Tim. I have donned the holy beanie, and the sermon is starting." Sermon's been
Indeed.
going on now for a
I
while.
love this.
Yeah.
I love it, though. I love this.
The Gray Gamer says, "Love your show. Your dearest consumer of episodic news content, the PP Poo Poo Men." Thank you.
Okay.
Jeremy, thanks for the super chat. Jessica Cora says, "Wisconsin executive order struck down. Restaurants and bars instantly packed."
Yes.
I'm not surprised.
I kind of want to go to a restaurant.
I really want to
But
go to a
I
restaurant.
do too.
I would go to Uno's.
They have vegan pizza.
I kind of want to order Uno's now.
You should do that. I would totally
be great.
Go for
slam
it.
down some vegan pizza.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, that's good. They get
They do.
surprisingly
They got
good.
pizza.
Sassy Pants says, "Eat honey made from bees in your area. That will help with allergies."
Oh, interesting.
I've heard that, but I don't
That
think we
makes
have
sense.
honey made from the bee. I guess I got to find a farmer's market or something.
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's no farmer's market
I'm
right now.
sure
Yeah.
there's not.
David Palmer says, "We know the story behind how Adam and Tim met. What's up with Lydia's story?" She was a meme smith on the internet, and I talked to her online as she produced memes.
Yeah.
And then I said one day, I was like, "Your knowledge of memes is quite impressive. I could use someone with your memeing ability."
Yeah.
And
that's
asked her
exactly
if
how
she
this
wanted to
happened.
come out. And in all seriousness, it has to do with Lydia's understanding of the news atmosphere.
Yeah. I like to read the news. It
And-
made me like kind of unpopular at the hospital because all I ever wanted to talk about was the news, and everyone was like, "Please stop, please stop." So I would just rant at Tim, and it worked great.
Yeah.
Good friends.
Because we're planning on doing this show, and I was like, we really need someone who can help story produce.
Yep.
And there you go. The rest is history.
Boom. Yep.
IB Rippenham says, "Facebook does know
Hey.
everything. Last week, I farted in my living room. 5 minutes later, there were ads for whoopee cushions on my wall." No. Gas X.
Yeah.
They're trying to do away
Or
with...
Beano?
Poopery.
What is it? What?
Beano?
What's that? Is that one?
Yeah, you eat it before.
Yeah, it's like a pill that you eat so you don't fart.
Beano.
Yes.
All right. Where are we at? Julian says, "What is the best music to skate to? And if you guys... And have you guys gone surfing as well? Also, I love when Tim says, be clowns.
Yes.
Love
that's
from
the
Toronto.
best
I try
word.
and say it in a funny way. Be clown.
I've surfed. It's
I love
fun.
that word, dude.
But music,
Clowning.
you hit up some good music.
Oh yeah, we got the good skate music.
So I use Pandora's Thumbprint Radio.
Punk music's good.
Alternative indie.
It's
Good punk.
Muse is good, and there's
Muse is really
in
good.
that
Yes.
style because
Muse.
But it really
Very
depends,
good.
man. I know people skate some weird stuff.
That's true.
Hip hop is pretty good.
Hip hop is good too. That's true.
It's a good beat. It's a good beat where you get a consistent like a good BPM like
Yeah.
do. Some
Old
you
school
know
hip
yeah.
hop. Yeah.
yeah old
True
school hip
that.
hop is good.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite hip hop artist?
Mine?
Both of you. I don't know.
Me?
Let's talk about it. I
Oh,
love hip
man, I
hop.
love
anybody.
hip hop
I
and
don't know
rap.
anybody.
I love rap. I love
don't know anybody?
Logic.
No, I don't know.
You're from Chicago. You know Atmosphere?
Nope.
Man, they're good.
No.
Oh, come on, Tim.
No, I grew up listening to punk,
There's some of my
Punk.
favorites.
So did
I
I.
like
but
Pop
Atmosphere a
not
punk.
lot.
hip hop.
indie,
Oh yeah. Okay.
you know, and whatever.
Okay. Cool.
So the Tony Hawk Pro Skater soundtrack.
That's good
That
skating
game's
music.
coming out. It's gonna be good.
It's good
Perfect
skating
Yeah, they
music.
were
music.
well picked songs.
Chose
Yeah.
well, yeah.
Well picked songs.
Agreed.
Be clowns. Architect of Fate says, Tim, when can we get a stream from the House Carl Lydia and Sue Hulk doing a collaboration?
Oh, that'd be so much fun.
Baking? She's in
Yes.
in Scotland though.
Yeah, it's okay. We'll bake on different time zones.
All right. Lamb Decor says, burn, baby, burn, disco inferno. More like
Indeed.
media inferno.
Right.
David says, Adam is soy Jesus, Lydia is Sour Patch Lydia. What food is Tim associated with? The people deserve to know. I don't know. What food?
Barbecue sauce.
Barbecue sauce.
Oh, barbecue sauce mixed with mayonnaise.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't use it
Secret
that much
sauce.
though. I use it on like when I make chicken. That's just like,
Yeah.
it's the same
you
thing.
use it a lot.
Yeah, but
Come
a
on.
lot is relative.
Okay.
When I'm eating,
Consistently, then.
yes,
Yeah, consistently.
when I'm eating
Yeah.
something that can be sauced.
Yeah.
Indeed.
It's basically Chick-fil-A sauce.
Yeah, it's
If you've
great.
ever had Chick-fil-A sauce, that's what it tastes like.
So good.
I'm pretty sure that's what Chick-fil-A sauce is.
I think so. I think
Probably
you're right.
sugar to it though.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Where are we at? Matthew Hammond says, "Learn to code." That's a oh yeah, that's a good point.
There you
All these
go. All
journalists-
these people can
yeah.
code.
There you go.
Beautiful.
Now we're gonna get banned.
Oh, yep. We're
Robin
out.
says, first super chat relieved YouTube didn't cut you. Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
see. A bunch of people have gotten banned recently.
Yeah.
So I think it's only a matter of time. For real.
Earlier, though, it was just YouTube being down.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
The entire chat is saying milk toast.
Oh, is
Milk
that your
toast.
favorite food?
I mean,
Milk steak.
the question
steak.
was, what are you associated with?
Milk toast. Do you know where milk toast comes from?
The fence sitting?
No, it literally comes from a comic
Yeah.
about a guy whose name was Milk Toast.
Mm-hmm.
And his name was Milk Toast in a reference to a very bland breakfast.
He had a
The
very
guy-
weak stomach.
So it's actually not.
Sounds gross.
I remember seeing a comment from somebody who called me a milk toast fence sitter, and I thought it was hilarious.
yeah.
It's not
It
necessarily.
is pretty funny.
It's not accurate. It's just funny.
Yeah.
It's like a self dig.
Okay.
Because milk toast referenced someone who's weak willed.
Oh, right. Okay.
I'm certainly very
Yeah,
like
that's definitely not you.
adamant and like yelling and complaining about the media all the time.
Yeah.
But
You definitely have a stance.
on issues of freedom in the media. But when it comes to like economics, healthcare, and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to hear me. Like even when I talk about the Obamagate stuff, I'm not like Obama subpoena, rah! And so that's why they say milk toast because I'm not like
That was very Alex Jones. You go very Alex Jones in those moments.
I like
yeah,
that.
Alex Jones.
That's why he sits
Well,
on
not
the
that you
fence.
are, but the way you act.
rah, rip my shirt.
Bombastic. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't do
I
that.
won't. Where are we at? Michael Connor says, saw 2 of your vids a guy put on YouTube 2 to 3 years ago. Soy Jesus and the Beanie need to hurry up and make some of us watch already. Also, Trump 2020.
Yep, skate
skateboarding.
videos. Definitely skate videos.
Yeah,
You're
we
gonna
could.
make
We
some?
could.
Oh, we will. We
do it.
definitely will.
Justin Green says hospitals losing employees even though COVID deaths lead to quick fed cash. Perhaps those chief exec types aren't being honest. Looking at you, Cherry Hills. Yeah, but a million jobs lost, healthcare jobs.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Lance says, who will be left to keep the government in check? The Watchmen. Julian Borges says, thoughts on The Last of Us 2 leak SJW controversy? I don't know anything about it. I watched some of the
Honestly,
videos.
I don't even know if I care.
I don't.
I don't care. Someone
watched
someone leaked it. Okay.
But what are they the whole game?
I don't know what they leaked. I honestly I don't care that much.
I know that they're DMCA doing DMC takedowns on people. It's like creepy.
Really?
Yeah, it's not legal either. But people are saying something about like there's a social justice controversy around the game, and I'm like, you know what, man, look, if you like The Last of Us and you played it, that's awesome.
Yeah. I never even played the first one, so it's like
if
whatever.
It's really, really simple how you solve this problem. If you don't like The Last of Us 2 because there's social justice stuff in it, don't buy it. Do you remember what happened with Battlefield 5?
No.
It was chaos.
Is that where they like you pay to like get the
No.
best stuff?
They released a trailer where like the lead character on the cover and like in the trailer was a woman with a robotic arm
Okay.
and like purple hair.
right.
in World War One, and people were like, "I don't want to play Fortnite. I want to
Right.
to play World War One."
Yeah, yeah.
And so then the guy was like, "If you don't like it, don't buy it." And then nobody bought it, and he was like, "Wait, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it."
Why isn't anyone buying it?
Why is it? And then they started changing it to like make it more. Talk about stupid,
like
man.
realistic.
I love it. You know, I love.
I can't stand those colorful games. They bug me.
So one of the things that
Never play Fortnite.
I was recently in
I won't do it.
a Twitter thread between Shoe on Head and Sticks Hexenhammer,
Okay.
YouTuber commentators, if you don't know. And they were talking about left and right debate, and I brought up how the left, it really feels like if someone becomes left wing, it's because they were attacked and threatened. And if someone becomes right wing, it was because they were celebrated and cheered for.
Okay.
And so, you know, Shu agreed. She was like, if you go from left to right, you're greeted with a parade. If you go from right to left, you're like picked apart and they go after you. So when it comes to like games like Battlefield,
Yeah.
they're so scared of this small sect of lunatics that they compromise all of their values and make the world's worst game. And then nobody buys it.
Yep.
And then what do? It's like you bend the knee to these lunatics. Don't be surprised if nobody wants to buy your garbage.
Yep. Exactly.
And then nobody buys it.
Yep.
That's what I say about The Last of Us 2. Listen, man,
Yeah.
if you don't like it, the best thing you can do, don't buy it.
Boom.
That's it.
Yep.
And then what happens
I agree.
and then you know what? They don't learn their lesson often. I think they will. Like when you look at Birds of Prey, like why did this movie bomb so bad?
I don't want to look at it anymore.
I don't want to look at it.
I
What
looked
a
at it
terrible
enough.
movie.
It was bad.
It's creepy how
That's bad.
do you know what you ever hear of Gamergate?
No.
I can't give you the full history of it, but one of the general ideas is that you have these video game companies that advertise on video game news websites.
Okay.
So the news websites are basically colluding with the advertisers.
Right.
Like if I'm going to write a review for The Last of Us, and The Last of Us is like, we're going to buy a big ad spot, we want to promote the game, I can't badmouth the game.
Right.
So they don't. And then people start complaining like, dude, that review was BS. That game was terrible.
Yeah.
And so the media companies are just basically,
Catering to them.
it's an advertisement. It's not
Yeah.
real media.
Yeah, exactly.
Same thing with news. You see these, it's
it.
access journalism.
It's true.
They're like Birds of Prey comes out and then everyone's like, it's the best movie ever. It's like, just be honest.
As they
man.
just got paid to say that, basically.
Well, they're scared of losing access.
That's what it felt like anyway. All the
for sure.
reviews were like raving, and I'm like, who is reviewing this movie? Did they even watch it, or they just watched like the trailer and got a check from somebody?
They're scared of losing access. So they get early releases and previews and
Oh,
stuff
right.
like that.
Yeah, okay.
I remember there was one tech reporter who was tweeting about how he was given an iPhone, like a new iPhone before it came out,
Okay.
and how tech journalism is the lowest form of journalism because they literally give you free stuff. Right. And if you write bad things about it, they stop giving you free stuff.
Lame.
So they all write good things about the products they get
Yep.
because they're like, it's a free phone, man. You
Yeah.
know?
I got early access.
Hey, this phone might be bad, but I'm gonna get another free phone next year.
If I tell you it's good.
And to be honest, like when you get the new Apple or the new Android, they're not bad. It's not gonna be bad. It's gonna be the new
Right.
high-end phone. You know, you're
Yeah.
gonna be like, sweet, I got one before everyone else. That's the game.
And yet I'm
Media's
still
broken.
using like a 4-year-old phone that still works fine.
Yeah,
it's
but
possible they exist.
What if you know they come to you and they're like, we'd like to give you 3 months in advance the newest phone. Yeah, they go to their friends and they're like, look what I got, the new iPhone QR49 or something.
QR49.
And they're like, wow, how did you get that? It's like, well, I'm a journalist and I'm reviewing it. And they write a puff piece. It's
Yep.
the best phone ever. And then they'll maybe put in some like fake shade, like I was concerned about the bevel on the camera, but ultimately it played out well.
It panned out well.
It panned out well.
Yeah.
And then you look at movies like my favorite is the Death Wish
Okay.
with Bruce Willis.
Yeah, I think I've seen it.
So I think some like the honest assessment was like an old samurai revenge, modernized. His wife gets killed. He goes and buys guns.
Oh yeah, that one. Okay.
Then the killers come back, and it's like universally panned. And cover your kids' ears now because I'm going to tell you what one reviewer, a reviewer called it a gun nut masturbation film, and I'm like,
oh wait, I got headphones on.
it wasn't even. It was an entertaining popcorn flick, but they destroyed it in the reviews. Audience loved it. Audience scores like 90%. It's like, hey, that was fun. That was cool. Like Bruce Willis, he's like defending his kid, his daughter. She's like older now.
Yeah.
And then you look at Birds of Prey, and it's like the best movie ever. You look at
Sorry, hearing that in the same sentence
I know,
just makes me laugh.
to the critics.
couldn't-
but they
couldn't hold
even,
it back.
They give Dave Chappelle. I think this is really
Funny.
funny too because regular people are starting to notice this. Dave Chappelle did a comedy special and it gets panned by critics, and then Amy Schumer, it's like everyone loved, and it's
Yeah.
like, nah, you just look, man. If you came out and said this game is good, this game is bad, people believe you. But the regular average American who's not politically initiated just saw you give Amy Schumer a thumbs up and started laughing, and they're like, now I know you're lying.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, sorry, man. Dave Chappelle is a master of his craft.
he really is.
Yeah.
He's a smart dude.
Yeah, he's funny. He's funny.
Yeah.
All right, let's read some more. Where are we at? Charm Superior says, all Americans, please take some advice from a UK citizen. Vote Republican. Don't fall like us and cherish the freedom you have. Wait, the UK voted overwhelmingly conservative in December. Chisholm. Adam, did you get a chance to check out anything I sent your way? Sent you something on Plandemic and how triage actually works today. More to come.
I did see that email, and when I opened it, I saw a bunch of links, and I was doing other things, so I didn't have the time to dig into the links. But I'll check those out. Chat, thanks.
Hunter says, missed the chat last night. Smash Bros. Is win. Adam, if you like old school platformers, check out Hollow Knight. Should do a playthrough.
You're not the first to tell me that, actually. Hollow Knight. It does look like a fun game.
Cool. The Red Bike Master says, long time no chat. Work has been crazy. Keep on trucking, y'all. Will do.
Thank you.
Yiz the Eunuch. It's not that I want left-wing news to fail. I want fake news to fail of all kinds.
Yes.
I don't mind if outlets have bias as long as they do real journalism. 100% right
Yep.
there.
Yes.
It's not that I want left-wing media to fail. It's that I want them not to
Succeed.
exist anymore.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
Oh, you took it a little further.
That was the joke. It's actually a Family Guy joke.
Oh, okay.
When Stewie's like, it's not that I want to kill Lois. It's that I don't want her to be alive anymore.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay.
All right. Let's see how it is.
Family Guy's great.
Yeah, it is.
Jesse, referencing that the Family Guy episode the other day where they walk just across the border and then and then Quagmire says, for those that didn't hear it, they all walk across the border and don't realize. And then they're like, we need to get to America. And Consuela goes, you're in America. And they're like, what? And she's like, yeah, you're in Texas. And then Quagmire's like, wait a minute, you mean we just walked across the border and we didn't even realize? Like, that's a problem, right?
Yeah.
Politics aside, we can all recognize that's a problem. And they look at him and then it just cuts. And I'm like,
Oh.
is Seth MacFarlane secretly like, what
What's
was
he
that
saying
joke?
here?
I don't
Because
even
that
know.
makes me laugh.
That's
I'm
pretty
sure
funny.
it makes Trump supporters laugh.
I'm sure,
it
yeah.
doesn't make resistance people laugh.
That's a good point.
So
Yeah.
what,
I don't know. Who were they targeting?
but they've also, like, Family Guy's ragged on SJWs a lot.
Mm-hmm.
They have like a whole episode, I think, or several
It wouldn't
episodes.
surprise me, yeah.
The Simpsons did it, where Mr. Burns goes to a college
Okay.
and then sees all of the college students and they're all SJWs.
All right.
And Mr. Burns is like, why am I paying for this? I gave you all this money. And then it turns out they're all robots and they're like, their heads explode or something.
Oh, wow.
Something ridiculous.
Ooh.
Okay,
Yeah,
random.
Family Guy did a whole episode
Good twist.
where Brian tweets something offensive,
Mm-hmm.
and the SJWs, the mob shows up to his house and they're like throwing stuff at him. So Seth gets it,
Okay.
but he tweets stuff that's very much like generic resistance tweets.
I know, I see it. It's a little cringy sometimes.
Yep, maybe he just likes being rich, and he's like, I'm not gonna get involved. But then he puts it out through Family Guy. Like that Quagmire thing was hilarious.
As long as he doesn't mess up Star Trek when he gets a hold of it.
Right.
I hope he does. I hope
Get
he
a hold of
gets
it.
a hold of it.
Right, right.
No, I hope
no,
he
he
gets a hold
won't.
of it.
No,
No. Because
he's
he
gonna
won't
fix
mess it
it.
up. Orville was amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Orville was a great show.
Is amazing.
Oh yeah, I guess. Well, I've
Yeah.
seen it. I've watched them all, so now it's
Yeah, I
past
know. I
tense
want
for
more
me.
episodes.
I know, me too.
Where are we at? Jesse on Fire says, did a vid about Cuomo getting caught with fake corona, and comments I'm still getting are from dimwits that haven't Googled to confirm it's true. Bizarre. That's why I always do my
I
videos.
doubt he had it.
I didn't used to do my videos where it was always my face in the corner with the source
Yeah.
until people started taking the clips out of context and calling me a liar. And I was like, I'll just put this article on the screen full and I'll read from it.
Yeah.
Clip that. They still try.
Yeah,
but
they
it's
still try, but
like
it's obvious now.
Media Matters did it. They were like, Tim Pool falsely claimed, the Star Tribune said that Ilhan Omar may have married her brother. And it's my face like this, like, and then next to it, it says Ilhan Omar may have married her brother. And I'm like,
and
you can't
it
do
was
it.
their article.
Yeah, and so someone tried putting it on Wikipedia, and the editors were like, but the claim they make is next to an image of Tim Pool reading the paper that says Ilhan Omar may have married her brother.
Yeah.
Like, he's not falsely asserting, he's literally reading the newspaper. They try, man. That's why I do it that way now. So that's why, if you end up making a video about Cuomo and you have the source on the screen, what are they going to say?
Yeah.
Unless they try.
Do you think he ever had it? I don't think he ever had it.
You don't think Chris Cuomo had it?
Nope. I don't think
Did I
so.
say Andrew Cuomo? Chris Cuomo.
Yeah.
I think so.
I don't think so.
I do.
Cool.
And I think they exploited it.
No, that was my question. You
Yeah.
you asked it. You answered. That's all I needed.
That's all we needed.
Adam,
Moving on.
a different Adam says, maybe
Oh.
these journalists should learn to code.
Oh.
Ooh, there
I
it
love
is.
this. I love this. It's
Spicy.
zingy. Yo. Oof.
Student of history says roses are red, violets are blue. Then we said to the MSM, I'm not going to read that because I don't know what that means.
Oh no.
Nope. Sorry.
Could be bad.
Looks like Japanese maybe. Biker Bob says, Tim, have you heard that Canada is going to be used as a test subject for the Chinese Wu flu cure?
I heard
Our
that.
prime minister admires the Chinese government. Well, it's because they're testing a vaccine, I believe. Yeah. Oh, wait a little bit. I'm totally down for getting, vaccines or whatever. Like I mentioned, when you travel, you got to get a ton of shots like Hep A, typhoid, things like that. But if we're rushing this through, I don't trust major corporations to get it right on the first try. So
I agreed.
I don't want to be a guinea pig. That's fair.
Yeah.
Two Rivers Lad says, in your main segment, you mentioned unmasking Flynn. What does that mean? I thought he was always a public figure. Is this kind of like a Voldemort thing? This was today was a long day. It took a while to get done
Really
because
frustrating.
I was trying, doing this video talking about the Obamagate and the unmasking of Flynn is very, very difficult because most people don't know what unmasking means. So I'll give you a quick breakdown to answer your question. When the U.S. is spying on foreign adversaries or foreign individuals, whatever, just foreign people, they're not allowed to publish the names of Americans because Americans have a Fourth Amendment right. Oh, I'm here. Americans have a Fourth Amendment right. So when the FISA courts, the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance, Act, the courts say like, we're going to, spy on this Kislyak guy, this Russian, then they get a document that says Kislyak said this, U.S. person said this. Unmasking is when they request the U.S. person's name be published for them, not necessarily to the public, not to the public. So when Joe Biden made an unmasking request, what was basically happening was he was seeking to find out the name of a private American citizen that would help him understand the context of this phone call. A lot of conservatives are upset because the unmasking was seen as abuse. The conversation between the Russian ambassador and Michael Flynn was not in any way suspect. An incoming national security advisor reaching out to a foreign diplomat and saying, hey, we're going to have conversations, let's keep everything chill, is completely normal. And even the Washington Post, who published his name, said this is what he should have been doing. So why then did so many people in the Obama administration seek to unmask the name of this individual communicating legally and correctly with the Russian ambassador? That's what people are asking. More importantly, who leaked it to the press? And why did Obama have a meeting about it on January 5th, a day after the FBI moved to close the case and then intervened to reopen it? A day later, Obama, Biden, Comey, Sally Yates, Susan Rice, a bunch of people have this meeting where Obama gives them guidance. Susan Rice writes this really weird email like, we're just doing everything by the book.
To herself.
Yeah,
what the heck?
And then on the 12th, Flynn's name gets leaked to the press from the Obama administration. And on the 24th, the FBI writes down in notes, why are we doing this? Do we want to prosecute him or get him fired? Why would the FBI be seeking to get somebody fired? Unless it was true that the point of this was to sabotage the Trump administration coming in. So here's what I tell people. I've had a lot of conversations about Obamagate, and I say straight up, you want to be very, 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 very careful about what you assert, right? So a bunch of conservatives have said straight up, Obama was trying to sabotage Trump. That's hard to prove definitively, but what you can say is the FBI was trying to get a Trump administration official fired. Ask that question. That's your wedge in the door. The door's not open, but you have that wedge there. I want that question answered. Why did the FBI say we have no derogatory information on Michael Flynn? Then Peter Strzok intervenes and says, no, we'll keep it open. Then in this meeting with Obama, a day later, they cite the Logan Act, a law that's never been used before, which is archaic, to go after Flynn. His name then gets leaked in the press. Here's my personal opinion. The FBI is going to close the investigation. Peter Strzok intervenes. In the meeting with Obama, Comey mentions the Logan Act. They then start basically going after Flynn on the Logan Act. In the Washington Post article that finally published Flynn's name, they do also mention the Logan Act. I think that seeded the information to Flynn, who panicked, and then in a informal meeting ended up lying about what he had said. The FBI used that against him, and they said in their notes, is it to get him fired or prosecute him or, what are we doing here? So it seems like it was kind of a setup. It seems like Flynn may have made a mistake, but it seems like they were going after him. He panicked. And then, look, perjury, like Obama claimed it was perjury, if it was perjury, that would have been under oath in a formal investigation. Flynn, this was not the case. Apparently, it was an informal meeting at the White House, and they were like, we got you now. You lied. Why was he unmasked in the first place? The FBI said no derogatory information. What was their reasoning for extending this and trying to use a law that's never been used before? Stands to reason, malintent. However, all you really need to say, if anyone's asking, is why did the FBI want to try and get Flynn fired? That doesn't make sense. Yeah. That is not what the law enforcement agencies are supposed to be doing. After that, there's some serious questions that need to be asked. If the FBI was trying to get Flynn fired, then why did Joe Biden seek to unmask the name of Michael Flynn? I'm not going to make any accusations against Joe Biden. I don't know why he made, on January 12th, the same day the name got leaked to the press. I don't know. But I think it's grounds for some questions, maybe some written testimony or something. There was no grounds, we now know, for the Russiagate investigation. If that was the basis for a sound investigation, according to many of these resistance anti-Donald Trump types, then we also have substantially more grounds for an investigation in the other direction. I am not thrilled about the incoming Lindsey Graham hearings that's going to be happening. To me, that sounds like it's going to be boring. I am interested to know what they were doing and why they were doing it. And the only thing I can really say is it would be, in my opinion, improper of me to argue that Donald Trump shouldn't have his own special counsel to investigate why this, fictitious claim was levied against him, why for 3 years these individuals who had no evidence, who admitted under oath had no evidence, were lying about him. I wonder if at the very least there's a defamation charge that could be levied. But if I entertained Russiagate for years, and I did, then it would be unfair for me to say we should not have an investigation to dig into the origins of this. There's a few really important points. One is that the dossier they used as a large portion of their pretext to start the Russia collusion investigation into Trump, which ultimately turned up nothing, was seeded with Russian disinformation. Even socialist magazine Jacobin has said the Democrats were pushing Russian propaganda. We really need to understand why that happened. So we've got the John Durham investigation, which is now criminal probe. They're going to be investigating a lot of things. Maybe there'll be indictments. I honestly don't know. The Horowitz report proved FISA abuse. This proved Evan Nunes was right. And now we're going to hear about, we're going to have Lindsey Graham's, did I say Lindsey Graham? It's Lindsey Graham who's going to be doing these panels. I don't trust that guy. We'll see how this plays out. But anyway, long story short, perhaps these resistance people shouldn't have asked for these, set these rules in play. This was the grounds for which they said we should have a special counsel investigation into the Trump administration. And now we have more evidence to suggest that Barack Obama was involved. To what degree, we don't know. Some people are arguing that's a bigger scandal than Watergate because Obama knew about this when he shouldn't have. His own chief of staff sought unmasking of a political rival. It's very, very, very complicated. But at the very least, there is more evidence to suggest wrongdoing here than there was in the Russia investigation. If we all entertained Russia, it would only be fair to entertain something in the other direction. I don't like the hearings. I think they're boring. I think they're bad for this country. But if that's what we're going to get, then so be it. The left, Biden, Me Too, all that stuff, they argued for all these rules, and they got the rules they asked for. They said, believe all women. Now that it's affecting Joe Biden, they're throwing it all out the window. I'm not going to play that game. If you put the Republicans and the conservatives through this whole thing and the Trump supporters say, okay, now it's only fair that we get our investigation, what's the argument? Yeah, I'm sorry, that's the case. So this turned into something a lot longer based on the question of unmasking. But I got it all out.
That was a valid question.
It was tough earlier today because trying to do a segment that walks everyone through, it would have been 3 hours. Like, I started and stopped so often because I'm like, man, I got to explain how the FISA courts work, the FISA abuse, 2012, 2011, NASA, NSA, FBI.
And you even said nobody knows what unmasking is.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, well, I'm glad you had a chance to explain it, though.
So maybe that will be its own segment. We'll see how that plays out. Let's read questions again.
Oh, yeah, I was chatting with the chat. I was just hanging out.
That works.
Yeah.
Just chilling.
Lindsey Graham, I don't think will end up doing anything, so we'll see how things play out. Jamie says, "Thanks for not being fake news. I always think you're as objective as possible. Here's some money. I really appreciate it."
Nice.
I try to just be I don't care if Trump wins or loses. I really don't. I don't like the idea of Biden. I don't like the idea of Hillary Clinton. But in 2016, when it was like Trump versus Hillary, I don't care. I really don't. And so when it comes to who's right and who's wrong,
I think you might have said to me in 2015 sometime that you would prefer Trump winning, but only the only reason you said is because it would be great for news.
I think
You're like, I'm just will enjoy watching it happen.
the one thing I said all the time.
Light it all on fire.
No, the one thing I said all the time in 2015 was, if you like the status quo,
Yeah.
then you want to vote for Hillary Clinton.
Right.
Like the war, the intervention,
Yeah.
and the American economy, like the way the machine was churning, it was enriching a lot of elites.
True.
And I was like, but if you want, it's a long spiel I used to go on to people. Like, if you want to see either a complete disruption of the system, a challenge to the status quo, or you want to see America, like, it's basically Hillary Clinton was the interventionist candidate.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you like everything we're doing overseas, the Middle East, the oil exploration, the seizing of, the deposing foreign governments and things like, removing foreign governments and stuff, Hillary Clinton was your choice.
Oh, politics.
Yeah. But if you wanted something different, or you want to watch the world burn, you vote for Trump.
Yeah.
But Trump is, I think my assessment back then was actually incorrect, because Trump really bolstered America and like made it work really well.
Yeah.
I didn't see that coming.
Yep.
I wasn't going to vote him. I don't care though. So what ends up happening is a story will come out and I'm like, it is what it is. Like the Republicans voting for the most part to block the amendment that would stop spying on browser history.
Yeah.
That's complete BS. I'm like, why would I vote for these people?
Yeah.
It was mostly Democrats who voted to remove that power. I don't like the Democrats either, though. I hate them all. F them all. All right. Here we go. Fire. Alternative says, Super Chat lost last night. Loved Lid's Blink-182 shirt. Want to know everyone's thoughts on the albums California and 9. Rumor has it Tom DeLonge may return. Lids gets 2 Super Chats.
Oh, thanks.
I don't know anything about Blink-182 or what this is. Do you?
Yeah, I do actually. Tom DeLonge was on Joe Rogan talking about the aliens. He was the one who got that Navy footage released. So he kind of got in trouble, I think. Didn't they come down on him for releasing the alien footage?
I don't know.
Yeah, he caused all sorts of trouble. But yeah,
Fun.
both those albums were okay. 9 was better than California. That's my take.
Cool. SMU says, a little thanks to all of you for sifting through all the news on a daily basis, I'm assuming. Stay awesome. P.S. Not enough praise for Soy Jesus. Harumph, I say.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Harumph.
Thank you very much.
Jared says, from Wisconsin here, when tyranny becomes law, revolution becomes duty. Small bars are in almost every town and important to all rural economies. Decent place to live if you stay north of Milwaukee. Kim, thanks for becoming a member. The Red Bike Master says, what's the price of China, Journo? What is the price of China? I don't know.
I don't know.
Stargate
I'm about to
says,
find out.
Babylon Bee just published an article. CNN replaces President Trump's press briefings with President Xi's. Whoever made Babylon Bee is hilarious.
Oh
that
my
is
gosh.
amazing.
Yeah,
I
Babylon
love
Bee is
them.
hilarious.
Excellent.
Oh, man.
So true.
New Days says, would you ever think about making more calm voice Timcast videos like you used to?
Soothing.
Soothing, like ASMR?
Yeah.
I think that was an
quiet
issue
time.
of like,
Mellow Tim.
you get more and more into it, you get better, you get more comfortable, you get more confident.
Yeah.
And, I don't know.
I definitely feel more comfortable here than when we first started.
you get into it and you get more excited and exuberant.
And sitting in your seat definitely helped me when you
Good
were
for
gone.
ya.
Adam Cast.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes a difference.
Let's see. Kim Ruddy says, I take my breaks at the hospital around your uploads. I appreciate the hard
Aw.
work. Thank you. Ryan Walker says, 30% of UK economy vanishing by July and furlough extended till October. Being economic suicide, the Tories need to start prioritizing the economy now. Absolutely, otherwise they're going to get blamed for it.
True.
Connor Greenwell says, thank you for all what you do. It seems any opinion contrary to media gets demonized. How does one communicate with the ideologically possessed? That's a question we were asking a couple days ago. Like, I have no idea, man.
Exactly.
They don't care about the truth.
Nope.
Chris Pivoto says, hi all. For your video, why people are still in CA. Wife had military service. We hope to move in a few years after nurse school. CA son is good to our youngest with Down syndrome. California's got great weather, man, but their government is a nightmare.
Yeah,
It's a
that's
nightmare.
a scary place.
Christopher says, so which comment gets this demonetized first? Circle of Jerks or Bill Cosby? Circle of Jerks.
They were both good
I
fun.
don't
Bill
know. Those good
Cosby.
times.
That one threw me off.
Sorry,
I
it's
wasn't
the first thing that came
expecting
to my
it.
mind.
Funny though.
Chris says, nice hard flip, buddy. Yes, if you go to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/Bragic, BRAGIC, and search for me, I got a couple of videos over my buddy Brett's. Actually,
so old though.
the
Don't
one
you
from
don't
the
you
one
hard
from 3
flip
years
late
ago.
flip now?
The one from 3 years ago where I do a hard flip, late flip.
Oh, that's that
Yeah.
one.
And
Oh,
then I've
okay,
got
okay.
another one where I do a
Okay.
hang 10 hard flip, late flip, which is
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah.
Yep.
So it's a nollie half like endo, late half flip. It's a weird trick.
Yep. Cool.
All the crazy street tricks. Steven says, Tim, are you open to sharing fan art? I have ideas for the three of you. I can promise the art won't be homoerotic for you and Lydia. Can't promise that for
Oh my gosh.
Send it to the P.O. Box over at timcast.com/donate.
Thank you,
Okay.
Steven.
Oh no.
Hold on.
Wink.
Hold on.
Wait, okay.
Timcast.com/donate. There's a P.O. Box. Send your homoerotic Adam fan art. He's looking forward to it. He'll put it on the wall.
I can't wait.
I won't put it on the wall.
I'm so excited.
I don't. Right here.
I'm assuming it'll be tasteful.
Sure.
I'm sure it will.
All right, let's read.
Awesome. Thank you, Steve.
Where are we at?
Appreciate you.
Iron Zeppelin says, down with the fascist media. Agreed. David Palmer says, will Ian Crossland ever come back? He will.
Yeah.
I think we're,
Cosmic Garth.
we're
Yeah,
we're
man.
trying to figure out, Adam will probably take over, a certain night or something. We're working on it, but you're probably going to do your own show anyway, too.
Yeah, I think that is
So-
more the plan.
Yeah, like, what do you think? Same setup, just on your own channel?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
you and Ian and whoever else you have and
Mhm.
things like that. You should probably just start doing it.
Yeah, that's true.
All right.
Yeah.
Chrissy says, would love to hear your thoughts on cop who got fired for video on constitutional rights being infringed. Sounds like a really good dude.
Agreed.
An honorable man.
Is that the guy in Oregon or Washington or something?
Washington. And he said, you got to stand with the you got to defend the Constitution. And they came to him and said, take the video down. He says, I will not. And they fired him.
Wow.
Well, that dude
It's
is a good
ridiculous.
dude. And I hope more cops agree the Constitution is, you swear an oath to it,
Yeah.
Isaac says, Adam, get a Manscaped sponsor. They'll love you. You could start
Okay.
doing the show and then
Sure.
get like Dollar Shave Club or
Who
something.
do I call? I don't know. I don't
They
know.
call you.
Ah, is that how it works?
You're going to lug this one, Adam. Charlemagne says, Wheel of Time is one of the best series that I've ever read.
Yes.
I have read the series 2 times. The Stormlight Archive is also really good.
I'm in my second run right now. Actually, on the way here, when we were driving here, we were listening to the first book and the audiobook.
Yeah?
And I was just like, man, this is a good book. I remember it all now.
How old is it?
It started in the 90s, I think,
Cool.
and ended 4 years ago. 4 years ago, I think.
4 years ago?
Yeah.
I'll check it out. People
Really
keep bringing it
long.
up.
It's really long. It's like 14 books long.
Whoa.
man.
Okay, maybe not.
1,000
not.
pages each. Yeah. And it's pretty slow, but once you let the images take over, you know, when you're reading, it just
Audiobook
goes right through. Yeah.
Cracklin says, with all the loaded questions, false premises, and outright lying, the leftist media is bound to get the black lung pops. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mark Robertshaw says, the major problem with true immortality, like unable to die at all, is that gravity wells will be the ultimate trap. That's how you deal with immortal beings. Throw them into the sun or a black hole. Whoa.
Yeah,
Just
that
like
would suck.
trapped in the sun forever.
Should probably move it along.
Move it along.
Yeah,
You want
9:30. Let's do the last segment. So.
you want to jump to the ACLU?
Well, no, I mean you can jump along to the end and then we'll jump to that.
Oh, okay, so we're gonna
last
speed
segment.
things up. What Adam is basically saying, just to cut everybody off.
Yeah.
And he's ordering
Well,
me
I'm
now.
doing what you normally do.
I'm kidding. I'm just
Well, it's
putting
9:30.
I'm
just
putting the
like-
blame on you so that I can pretend like it's not my fault.
Sure.
Adam,
Yeah, yeah.
fine.
It's
You're
Adam.
making me do this. I'm so sorry,
You know what?
everybody.
No, read them all. No, I'm fine with it. Read it all.
No, we're gonna. Okay, so sorry if we can't get to your comments. We go on tangents here on the show, and
Little bit.
we're gonna speed things up. So apologies. John Perry says, "F the New England area. They're lost in lefty wonderland and an unnatural business. Rest, yes, some big one will survive, but the less managed ones will go under and or be taken over by the new ones." John Perry then goes on to say, "I drive semis, so I see it more than most." Austin Laverty says, Tim talking with his bosses when leaving the corporate media. Kill me or release me, parasite, but do not waste my time with talk. Absolutely.
Indeed.
That's like kind of what I said. I said to the president of this company, I was like, why am I here? This is what your plan is. You're wasting money. I should just leave. And they were
Yeah.
like, no. They didn't want the bad press. So they dropped a huge, ridiculous paycheck in my bank account, hoping that would shut me up or something. Golden handcuffs. John Hill says, I've been watching Tim every day since 2017, and I'm pretty sure my conscience is just a version of Tim. What the hell are you doing? Don't be a moron. P.S. Adam was right. I freaked out when you said, hi, John, live. Yes.
Called it.
Yep. David Palmer says, I live in Los Angeles. Feels like the homeless has tripled. I think it's because so many people have been released from jail. Yeah, that's probably a good point.
That doesn't make sense.
LaSalle says, Barney did not even vote. Yeah, he didn't, I guess.
Yeah.
Vash says, 80-16, Sanders was on the no list. Paul was.
Yep.
That's-
Bernie didn't do it.
Wait, Bernie was on the no list? That's
what Barney was. Bernie didn't vote.
Right, but this is oh yeah, that's right. Bernie was abstained from like 2 of these votes.
Yep.
Wait, so Rand Paul was on the right side, right? I'm assuming on the 16.
I
sure.
would assume so. Yeah.
Was not on the no. Yeah, Paul was on the no list, right? Rand Paul is like one
He's
of
a
the
rock.
Yeah, well, he's Ron Paul's kid, man.
I appreciate him.
He's his own man,
immensely.
but yeah, he's amazing. Charlemagne says, part 2 of my first one. Read Wheel of Time for the first time when I was in 6th grade. I'm going to check out Sword of Truth due to Soy Jesus' recommendation.
Yes, it's really good. If you liked Wheel of Time, you'll love Sword of Truth. Man, that was a good series.
Jim Mutari says, for bird feed. We do need bird feed, actually.
No, we
yeah.
don't. No, we don't.
We have a lot?
We have 2 massive
We just need to
bags.
put the thing back up.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
We're good on the feed. I meant send us money for bird feed.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
Thanks, Adam.
Ryokin says the Wisconsin governor didn't follow the state law to extend the shutdown. The governor had to consult the state legislature to extend the shutdown more than 30 days. He never did. That's why it was unconstitutional. And now he's crying about it. Sub, thanks for joining.
Thank you.
Wolfinkin says, in Australia, it's compulsory to vote or be fined $50. Would you pay the fine or vote for Trump? The main thing is right now, I've laid out, there's a bunch of really good reasons to vote for Trump. The main reason I'm saying I'm just not completely sure is because there's a long time between now and then. And I don't want to be like, I'm very reticent to support literally anybody. It's like I mentioned after Obama being like, hope and change. And I'm like, yes, Obama. And then he's like, no, I just blew up a bunch of kids. And I'm like, I put my name on that? Come on, man. So we'll wait, we'll see. We'll see. You know, but if it came down to it, like on the day of, I could vote for a bunch of different people. I don't got to vote just for Trump. So I'd vote. Who knows? Eggman says, I legit don't get people who are for the lockdown. Do they not have loved ones to feed? Are they not concerned about their rapidly draining bank account? We shouldn't even need to be explaining this. No, it's because they don't understand how economics works and they think the government just like snaps their fingers and food appears. They think the government can just print money and put it in their pocket and they can buy food. They don't seem to realize that if you don't make stuff, there's no stuff to buy.
Yep.
That's what they don't get. That's why socialism doesn't work. Charles says, air rifles have gotten very advanced. If you have the money, you can get air rifles that can be used to hunt water buffalo. Wow. Several states have recently added certain air rifles to take deer. Amazing. John Perry says, if I whistle in my woods, the woods whistle back, and my city friends didn't get it, tell my three buddy came out of the woods and scared them, and I said, let Antifa and the cops come here and try to take my rights. Black Rock Beacon says, I'm in PA and I'm looking to leave after the last state election cycle, and now this lockdown BS. I'm looking at land in northern Florida. There is an old hotel for sale in Jasper you could convert into a studio complex. That's cool. Joel.
Florida.
Nah, too hot. Not for me.
Not a big fan of Florida.
Joel says, will you ever open up an Australian arm? We badly need honest commentators here, as we just lost our most prominent voice on radio, Alan Jones, who has been on top for 35 years. There is a market. Let me know. Connections here. I don't know anything about Australia.
Well,
I do.
Now's
If
your
you
time.
could get your spiders under control, I would totally move there.
There you go.
That'd be so cool.
Oblividan says, I'm using my Trump bucks on a new gun. Here's some bucks for you to do the same. I recommend a Mossberg 590, but you should get what you're comfortable with. I really like the placement of the safety on the 590, though. Well, we'll do. We'll figure things out, but I'm looking at other states. One of the reasons, because Bitcoin, beers, and what's a B word for guns? I don't know. You got it's the 3 Bs, right?
BB guns? I don't
No.
know.
not powerful enough.
Yeah. What's a I don't know. Bazookas.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Bazookas. There you go.
There you go.
Bitcoin,
yes.
beer, and bazookas.
I was thinking Beretta.
Beretta. There you go. One of the reasons I'm looking at other locations is just better rights. So
Yeah.
we've looked at some states, but we also like, if we have guests, then it's airport is mandatory. You know, like having people who can come.
Yep.
That's why Texas might be good, but I don't know, man. We'll see how things play out. Like Fry says, you can have chicken and ducks on Long Island, New York. Of course, it's if the S hits the fan, got to grab a boat or swim. But we do have a lot of farms here. I like chickens. Skullboy says, not much to say. Just keep up the good work. Fight the good fight. Will do.
Thank you.
Boomsticks. There it is. Boomstick.
Yeah.
A
Everybody's saying
boomstick. Old
boomsticks.
school
There
boomstick. I
you
like
go.
it.
Yeah.
Bobcat says, you should go to Texas and get some cows so you can stop being all hat, no cattle. Also, when are you going to talk about the Vela incident? Well, I think that's something, you know.
We looked into it. It's
Well,
just
you did.
a big flash. Well, Lydia also looked into it a
okay.
little
Yeah,
bit.
it's-
I mean, we just
Seemed minor.
I didn't see
Minor?
enough information. It was like a
Yeah.
big flash over the ocean or something
And
that
people saw it.
no one could explain.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
I'll look at it some more tomorrow.
I mean, it could have been an asteroid that blew up in the atmosphere.
Yeah, it's happened in Russia.
You know, that just happened last year in Russia.
Yeah.
You know,
There's
so
a lot of videos of that stuff.
It's not. I don't know.
Not too
Here we go.
crazy.
Mr. Laxative says, if you're still into magic, look up the red enchantments Repercussion and Furnace of Wrath. You will quadruple any damage you do. It's a match made in Burn Deck Heaven, though it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah, if you can get them out under the right circumstances.
Yeah, but I mean, is that even... Yeah, that's enchantment, so it's not even...
Yeah.
Like, even Commander, it'd be difficult to pull off.
Yeah, Furnace of Wrath is like 4 red symbols also, so you really need like a heavy red deck to play it.
Maybe.
I don't know exactly what it is, but something like that.
Jose Juan Isaac Tavares says, Milk Toast gets the money, which means Milk Toast adapts to the market, advocates free speech, maintains left-right viewership because of honest, authentic journalism. You do you, Tim. Actually, interesting. I think the biggest... I mentioned this before we did a poll. The biggest group is libertarian. But it's not right libertarian. It's just like general libertarian.
Yeah, okay.
So it's basically people just saying freedom. And so the more I'm like, I don't know about them policies, but freedom, everyone's like, here, here.
Yeah.
Like, it's, yeah,
You make a good point, though, Tim.
We can disagree on the policies, but just don't tell me what to do.
Freedom.
Freedom.
I like my freedom.
Absolutely. It's Quindrome says, big fan from Australia. Love the work you guys do. What kind of skateboards do you guys own?
I have so many.
He has too many.
No, I don't have too many. I do have a lot. I was a professional skater for a while. I even designed my own board for Arbor skateboards, so I have a few of those that's like my go-to longboard that I ride. It's a really good board. And then I started really getting into like classical skateboarding, and now I own too many of those.
Too many?
Yeah.
The board I use is a real 8.5 by 31.75 with Indy trucks. I believe they're 144. The trucks to fit an 8.5. I got some Bone Swiss and Richta 54s. I think I think Jessup grip. I think I have Mob grip on that board.
I don't know. No idea.
Yeah, I love deluxe distribution boards. I like Antihero Real. That's what I use.
Yeah.
Let's see, where are we at? Joel says, will you ever open up an Australian arm? We badly need honest commentators here. I think this was, you mentioned this before, and I read that, but that's a duplicate.
Yeah.
The Grizzly says, Polygon decried racism because you shoot black people in the new Cyberpunk game. The creator of the game is black, and he called Polygon racist. Also, they have a Cthulhu module in Cyberpunk. In short, if we don't get Cthulhu.
So is that the Karens at Polygon?
Totally.
We're getting upset?
It's fake outrage.
Like, oh my
They're
gosh,
like,
it's something we can yell about. Yay!
Yeah.
Awesome.
We need clicks. Let's complain.
And the maker is like, I'm black. I made that. Like,
Yep.
what are you talking about?
Exactly. That's what...
It's like, come on.
Yep.
Fake outrage is ridiculous.
Let's see. I can't read this name. It's a bunch of letters and numbers. Hey, Tim, you should see the original Death Wish movie from 1974, Rip Charles Bronson. I was skeptic of Bruce Willis doing the remake, but for once they actually didn't copy the storyline frame by frame. I heard it was good. Thomas Ray says, Texas would love to have you guys. We have 80 miles an hour speed limit. Government isn't the worst, and if you pass a background check, you can get a gun same day. I like that.
I noticed that speed limit.
Yes.
It was nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is 80. It's nice.
The Gaming Ginger says, what's up, Tim? I'm paying the $5 for your membership, but I noticed some of the previous streams don't appear unless I've watched it live. Do you have any ideas as to why? Enjoy the donation, and thanks all you do. Wait, you said $5, but you gave 50, bro. I hope you...
Well, no, for the membership.
Oh, okay, right on.
So for one,
say,
thanks
I
for
thought
that
it was a
super
mistake.
chat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
If you go to youtube.com/TimcastIRL, there's a playlist called Live Shows, which would have every episode in it. But YouTube can be funky, so... June F says, Simpsons did it. By the way, do you have a favorite Halloween Treehouse of Horror segment or episode? Oh, man, I don't know.
It's been so long since I've even seen any Simpsons episode. I can't remember a thing.
Okay, I got to read this one. Lauren Chen versus Lauren Southern in a boxing match. Who wins?
Chen, 100%.
Why do you think?
She's way badasser. Pardon my French.
Whoa! All right.
Yeah.
Write it
Go,
down.
Lydia.
You got to bleep it. Write it down.
Yeah, okay.
That's the super
all right,
chat.
fine. Oh, yeah, we can leave it in.
I think it's a funny question.
Just leave
but
it in.
I don't know who would win. I'm biased, so
Alright.
I'll go.
I don't even know who any of those two are.
So,
I'm gonna go with Chen.
as somebody who
Just because
is
Lydia said.
yeah,
well,
trust me.
I trust you.
Lauren Chen is a Hapa. Okay.
A what?
Hapa.
Hapa. She's
I'm
part
sorry,
Asian.
what?
Half Asian.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what
Yes,
that means?
and I'm a Quapa.
Quarter.
Quarter Asian.
Quarter
Cool.
Pacific Asian.
So
Wow.
I'm gonna
New terms I'm learning
gonna
today.
be totally racially biased. and
Who? But you're allowed to, right?
Yeah,
This
he's
is
allowed.
no.
No?
I'm making a joke specifically about. Okay, I'm not even gonna go there anymore.
No. Just keep moving on. Keep moving on.
J-Max says, followed that Twitter spat today between some creators on the whole debate me bro drama. I really wish people would stop seeking owns and just have a discussion. I think it would be way more productive, and everyone could do with a bit of differential perspectives.
Amen.
This is why I don't do discussions. I don't debate. Debates are stupid. Debates are they're like this is what people don't get. Someone tweeted at me like, I disagree. Debates are great because then people can share their views. That's not what a debate is.
Yeah.
Debates have tactics. There's something I think it's called a Gish Gallop. I could be wrong. Where it's like you try and say a bunch of random nonsense to confuse your opponent. It's stupid. Debate is about appearing like you've bested them when you're really using tactics and techniques to confuse them to appear like you've won. I know that's not necessarily what people think of when they think of debate. I don't like it. I like discussion. If I said something like, I don't think UBI, Universal Basic Income, makes sense, and then someone said, but Tim, have you considered this study from this institute showing that these things happened? I'd say, wow, I didn't realize that thing existed. Let me read it. Interesting. Well, how do you account for these things? And that's a real conversation. Really trying to get together to understand the truth and share ideas. Nobody does that. That's why I stopped doing these. I did a handful of these like online discussions with people, and they immediately were just like snipping clips and being like, I just destroyed Tim Pool. And I'm like, you took the clip out of context.
Yeah.
Like, and it wasn't even destroyed. It was me going like, that's a good point. I appreciate that. And then like, I got you. And I'm like, okay.
All right.
I agreed with you.
Nice.
Yeah, it's really weird. A lot of these people are so adversarial. They don't know how to respond when they say something and I go, that's a good point.
Yeah.
And then they're like,
wait,
what?
But I had all these other points that I was gonna throw at you.
But I was gonna prove I was smarter than you. But you're agreeing. Like, yeah, I don't know. You made a good point, I guess.
Yep. People aren't used to that.
Yep. Yeah, it's like I love this one moment with Jordan Peterson. I know the interview was clipped improperly, but he was asked about social justice in like restaurants, and he says we shouldn't do this at bakeries. And then Jim Jeffries is like, what about the civil rights era? And then Jordan goes, perhaps I was wrong about that. It's like that simple.
Yep.
Just like, oh, I didn't. Oh, there you go.
It
maybe I
gets
was
so
wrong.
much easier when you do it that way.
So
I don't know.
People need to let people be wrong.
Yeah.
And say if it's okay, like, all right. Oh,
but you can be like, why do you care what someone else is mad at you if you're wrong? You know what I mean?
I know, exactly.
It's people
That's the
trying to
thing.
defend their egos.
Yeah.
Like,
it's an emotional thing,
I had
not a logical thing.
I had a bunch of people tweeting at me about the Ahmaud Arbery video because I tweeted it out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, I have no idea. I go into all my videos all the time and I'm like, I was wrong about that.
Yep.
Like there are a couple of people have tweeted me like, hey, you're wrong. I disagree with them. And I'm like, but I'm going to put your video in my description anyway.
Yeah.
And say, this person said I was wrong here, and I'll link to their video.
Yeah, yeah.
Even smaller channels.
That's great.
I don't care.
Yep.
I say all the time, I'm like, I'm not infallible. If I get it wrong, I get it wrong. I just got to go in and be like,
Nobody
sorry about that.
is.
Yeah.
It's the weirdest thing.
Right.
People. That's the problem with media organizations.
Yeah.
They'll be wrong. They'll put out a fake story, and instead of being like, sorry about that, guys, we try our best, they cover it up. They sweep it under the rug, or they just don't fix it.
Yeah.
Pathetic.
Well, here's a random comment. It's not a super chat, but it's amazing. Mango Don 555 says skateboard brand TNA Tim and Adam beanie boards.
Ooh.
I said beanie boards the other day. Remember?
I don't care. It's awesome.
I love it. TNA.
Nice job,
So-
Mango.
Yeah.
One of the things that I'm looking for right now is so I wanted. I have plans. We have Scanner. For those unfamiliar, it's scnr.com. They're doing like on the ground in-depth reporting. There's
Looks
a lot.
good.
Lots to be
Clean.
done. Awesome stuff.
Yeah.
And we'll have some announcements about it coming
Nice.
up. But there's separately. There's going to be another outlet which is going to focus on fact checking and aggregation and some original reporting. So the goal would be, when a big story breaks, we do a breakdown of it. We link to sources and we critique or we'll fact check. We need space for that. And so I've been looking into trying to find a building where we can house this, and it's very, very difficult. There was one place I almost got last year. It fell apart. Now the pandemic happened, so it's been a nightmare. But we also want to have a retail shop in the front with skateboards, gaming, and other stuff. People can actually come and hang out, and we'll have like a mini ramp, and you can, we'll make it more of a public thing, and we'll have a studio in back, and then crazy people will show up, and we'll have to fight them off with like brooms and stuff.
I mean, I could see Lydia. Let me get your camera.
Yeah.
Can
My
you picture? Can you picture? Show the shirt.
Oh,
Can you
yeah.
picture that on a skateboard? I can. Or maybe at the top of the skateboard.
and every board comes with a beanie.
like it's wearing a beanie.
It's the perfect logo.
And
I
every
agree.
board comes with a beanie.
wearing
Yeah.
the beanie.
Wearing
Yes.
the beanie. I
Yeah.
love it. That's
Yes.
great.
And then
Good
people
ideas
will,
are happening, people.
And then people will get heat stroke, and they'll sue us. And,
Oh, yeah, it'll be great.
No,
I'm
no, it'll
kidding.
come with a waiver. You have to
Sounds like
sign.
Yeah, don't wear this in the summer. Yeah, all right. But we'll see. That's one of the big plans. I would like to have a storefront with skate stuff and a ramp. People can hang out, because we also want to film and just be like this open, transparent news space. So if someone has a problem, like they're like, you wrote fake news, you can literally come to the retail shop, like go to the skate shop, and someone will be working there making boards, and you'll be like, I need to talk to somebody about this story. And then we'll be like, yeah, give a second. And then you can like submit your retraction request in person. So it's like, we will have the best correction policy.
Yeah.
All these news outlets are like, if you would like a request or a correction, send us an email. No. You show up to the store and you bang a little gavel. We'll put a little gavel down.
Little
Indeed.
gavel. Is someone hitting the gavel? Oh, yes. What is your grievance?
What is your
and
grievance?
then we can have one of the fact checkers come out and be like, what up?
Mm-hmm.
And someone would be
Yeah.
like, you said that Donald Trump did a backflip. It was a front flip, and we'll look at it. We'll go over the evidence and go, you were right. Let's go fix it.
Yep.
That'll be great.
That'll be the most transparent.
That's good
best-
reporting.
So we need a space. We might have found one. The problem is a lot of these buildings are really old, and it's like you can buy them, and then you got to put a ridiculous amount of work into them. I'm not gonna rent. That seems nuts.
That's what ruined
Because-
Miami.
You know, you could
The
write
Miami
this,
house.
but then someone has leverage on you. Like,
Exactly.
think about like
You
2
couldn't
years.
do anything, really.
Yep. Someone comes by and then they're like, I don't like what you do. I don't like your politics. Your
Get
lease
out.
is over. Get out.
Get out. Not really knowing.
Dangerous.
Nope.
Ole says, hey, Tim, longtime viewer. Have you guys ever talked about Operation Tomodachi? I was a U.S. sailor on board CVN 76 and some seriously shady stuff happened. I can send emails for follow-up if you want.
If you're on Twitter, hit me up. There's my my tag right there.
I'm
Just
looking it up.
Boom. Easy.
tweet
easy.
at me.
Best thing you guys can do. Yeah. Follow Adam.
Yep.
And send him stuff, and then Adam can go through all the suggestions and everything. That would be awesome.
Thank you. Please do.
James Wu says, I believe you said the Logan Act was passed in 1799 during the Alien and Sedition Acts. Please look up the XYZ affair. Seemingly the only official blatantly attempted power grab in U.S. history. Will do. Darth Soldier says the worst part is that no matter whatever they find out there will be no prosecution. Even if it turns out to be treason, people will get away with it. They always do, don't they?
Always do.
Look, man, this is why I always say, like, I don't care for the Republicans because what? You've got Lindsey Graham. He's not doing anything. He's not going to do anything.
No.
You've got Trey Gowdy. He didn't do anything. You've got a bunch of Republicans who literally do nothing. Peter King, you got, man, look, there's a lot of crony establishment people on the Republican side, too. There's a handful of good Republicans. There are a couple good Democrats. But for the most part, the whole system is just filthy. Aaron Garcia says, Tim, thanks for clearing up the unmasking. I really appreciate it. No problemo. Let's see. Juan says, don't forget the complicit media, docile, not curious, following along. I suspect the National Defense Act of Obama administration that allowed propaganda to target the domestic population. I think the media just wants to make money and they're nasty people. And they don't care about the truth. They just like, how can we make cash?
Yep.
William Kimball says, Tim, have loved your content for 2 years. I know you don't push causes onto people, but what do the first steps to solving the lockdown appear like to you? And fun reads for all of you that I would suggest would be Michael J. Sullivan's Reria Revelations. Cheers. What do the first steps to solving lockdown appear to you? Well, I think we're seeing it. I mean, the Supreme Court of, I think, Wisconsin struck down the extension.
True.
We're seeing I think for the most part we're seeing something good coming. These Democratic governors are like, they're shooting themselves in the foot.
Yep.
The bars are reopening. People are happy about it. We're seeing phases slowly reopen. Even California is allowing manufacturing to come back. So let's just get on with it, and hopefully it works out.
Mm-hmm.
Jonathan Landy says, whenever I talk about kinks in the supply chain, my mom just says the government can draw a line under it. I don't know what to say to her at that point. Much love from Ireland. What does that mean? Like,
Yeah,
the government
what does that
is
mean?
going to like pull bread out from the basement and be like, don't worry, we saved bread. No, there's not going to be bread if nobody makes bread.
Yeah.
Rato says, MTG counterspell meta. Screw you and anything you try to do. P.S. Thank you for the sanity you bring to news. Appreciate it.
It's very accurate.
Jeremiah, thanks for becoming a member.
Thank you.
Jack Daw says, move to Wyoming. We have Yellowstone, and the government barely know we exist. I really like that idea. But it's mountain time, I think, right? It's like, oof. I'm an Eastern time kind of person. J-Mac says, going to design a TNA logo with a busty Rule 63 Tim and a bodacious bummed Adam.
Yes. I want to see this.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh.
Let me see
Andrew-
this.
I can't.
You can mail to the P.O. Box at timcast.com/donate.
Please do.
Andrew Simmons says, Missouri has pretty good liberties, plenty of land, and 2 major cities, KC and St. Louis. It is also centrally located and very welcoming people. Great place for business. You know, I was looking at small towns that need revitalization. I was talking about this. I think I talked about it earlier today I did a thing about, Joe Rogan wanting to move. Think about the good you can do if you were close to a town that had seen its like manufacturing dry up or something, and you're providing, basic trade jobs. If you set up a big building and you need plumbing and you need carpentry and you need general maintenance and
True.
you're going to create jobs in an area, and then you'll actually bring more people in, which will create peripheral jobs. Then you got stores. That sounds like a whole lot of fun.
Does.
Should we Should we talk about the ACLU?
Yeah.
Let's
I'm
do
excited
it.
about
Sure.
that. Let's do it.
Let's do this.
Why not?
So the American Civil Liberties Union, I used to be a big fan. Now they're basically just the anti-civil liberties union, and I'll tell you why. But first, let me show you this story. This is from NBC News, picked up by Yahoo. ACLU sues Betsy DeVos over new campus sexual assault rules. Let's read a little bit, give you the context. Education Secretary Betsy DeVos revised federal guidelines on how sexual assault allegations should be handled on college and K-12 campuses is the target of a federal lawsuit filed Thursday, claiming the changes would inflict significant harm on victims and dramatically undermine their civil rights. The suit, filed on behalf of 4 advocacy groups for sexual assault survivors, including Know Your 9, Girls for Gender Equity, is the first and Girls for Gender Equity is the first that attempts to block the Department of Education's new provisions before they go into effect on August 14th. The rules championed by DeVos effectively bolster the rights of due process for those accused of assault and harassment, allowing for live hearings and cross-examinations. It's what agency officials say was lacking under the Obama administration to protect all students under Title IX, a 1972 law that prohibits gender discrimination, including sexual assault at schools. Quote, this new federal effort to weaken Title IX makes it more difficult for victims of harassment or sexual assault to continue their educations and needlessly comes amid a global pandemic, according to the suit, which was filed in U.S. District Court in Maryland by the American Civil Liberties Union and the New York-based law firm Strouk and Levin, LLP. The suit names DeVos, the Education Department, and Kenneth Marcus, the agency's Assistant Secretary of Civil Rights. The department did not immediately respond to a request for comment about the complaint. So let me just stop right here and break this down simply for you. Even NBC News says, under Title IX, they needed more due process, live hearings, and cross-examinations. Agency officials said this was lacking. Why is the ACLU seeking to take away due process from the accused?
I'm kind of shocked. This is something that DeVos I'm actually okay with.
I know.
Like,
and a lot of people have been.
I agree with this.
So let me give you some.
This is good. Why are they fighting it?
Well, let me give you some context. Right?
Okay, go ahead.
Title IX is an anti-discrimination provision that's been used. So basically, feminists have said if a woman is assaulted or harassed, then it's unfair because if the universities don't go after these individuals, it's discrimination.
Okay.
What's ended up happening is a lot of these universities don't care about due process.
Right.
They're not a legal court, so they operate under what's called a preponderance of evidence. If a woman accuses you, they ask you what happened, and if you say something like, well, we were, drinking and hanging out at my apartment, they'll say, oh, good enough for us.
Yep.
You admit you were there and she said it happened, you're expelled. Due process would be, I would like to cross-examine, confront my accuser, things that you normally would get in a court, under English common law, and with the Fifth Amendment, we have a right to real due process. That doesn't exist. Betsy DeVos is trying to give the same rights at universities that we get in a court of law.
That makes sense
to a certain degree, right?
Okay.
Well, it does. If some woman comes out and says this man assaulted me, well, do we destroy his life on your word? We need evidence.
That literally happened to my friend.
Right.
Yeah.
So Betsy DeVos wants to enact these rule changes and bolster. The ACLU is arguing that violates the civil rights of the women.
How?
But think about the logic there.
That doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't.
Look, man. Everyone has equal rights. Then it's just equal rights.
When's the ACLU gonna file suit to abolish the Fifth Amendment then?
Right.
It's not fair that the accused get to confront their accuser. That's violating their civil rights. What?
So you can just accuse and then that they just trust that and throw the guy in prison?
They've done it.
I know they have.
Yeah. Do you know about Mattress Girl?
Yeah, I think we talked about
Emma
it.
Solkowitz.
Yeah, and then she shifted, right? Now she's conservative.
Right. But apparently, when she accused this guy, there were text messages showing that she was it was not true what she claimed.
What she was saying.
She was begging him. She was messaging him for years, saying I love you and stuff like that. And then it was 2 years later she accused him or something. I'm probably getting the details wrong, but there are a lot of questionable storylines.
Yep.
Questionable bits of evidence. So it would make sense that we make sure we protect the innocent.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, without these rules, you're not protecting the innocent. You empower exploitation.
Exactly.
Why would the ACLU seek to oppose this?
I don't know. That doesn't make any sense.
I can tell you why.
Go ahead, please. Enlighten me.
So for those, I think we may have talked about the story, but I'll tell you guys the story. The ACLU famously defended the KKK in Skokie, Illinois. We talked about this recently, I think.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And that was they were very much liberal. Like, we believe in liberty and freedom, and we're going to stand up for the right to free speech. I don't agree with what you say, but I'll defend to the death your right to say it.
Okay.
And back then, liberals cheered for it.
Yeah.
That's why today the left is no longer liberal. It's the easiest way to explain it. If anyone ever says to you that, you know, they're liberals or whatever, ask them about defending the right to free speech of the Klan.
Yeah.
Because that's what liberals used to do. That's what they still do. The left today is not liberal. Liberals have left, and the ACLU has abandoned all liberal principles for money. So the ACLU fought against Donald Trump's travel ban.
Okay.
He was, you know, this ban in the 7 countries. And they immediately gained a whole bunch of leftist donors. It was a windfall to how much cash they made. When they then defended the right to free speech of Unite the Right in Charlottesville, they got attacked for it and immediately bent the knee, saying, please don't take our money away.
Yeah.
We would be very upset if we lost our money.
They got a taste of that.
Yep. So now they're the anti-civil liberties union. They don't defend free speech. They have backpedaled, and now they're actively seeking to take away civil rights.
That's ridiculous.
As the anti-civil liberties union. It's gross, man. And it
is.
bugs me
I
out
agree.
because I worked for a company where we fundraised for the ACLU. I was very proud.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, the ACLU is awesome. I remember I was in Chicago. We were doing street canvassing.
Okay.
And I was fundraising to one guy, and he was like, apparently, like, you stop people in the street, you wave, like, you know, hey, so we would ask, like, do you have a minute to talk about defending civil rights?
Yeah.
And a lot of people would hear these stories. And then I remember talking to one guy who said, you know, that, like, they very famously defended the KKK, who, like, came up and they marched through a Jewish neighborhood. And I was like, I absolutely didn't know that. And he was like, you don't care? And I was like, I don't like these people.
Yeah.
I don't like the message they bring.
Yeah, I don't agree with what they're saying.
But we have a First Amendment in this country, and so you have to recognize that, you know, dictators love the idea that they can infringe upon the rights of one, use it as a pretext, because then they can take away the rights of all.
Yeah.
And the guy was like, I completely agree. He's like, I love what they do.
Yep.
Man, I wonder what these, you know, old school liberals think now, and how many of them sold their values out.
Yeah.
Think about, like, you know, I was talking to somebody I think it was like a year or two ago, about this shift.
Mm-hmm.
And I was told that employees there, like the people who work there, like, they know.
Yeah.
They know they've sold their souls. They know it's gotten bad.
Mm-hmm.
They're no longer fighting for civil rights. I think that's the gist of the story. Oh, there's a little bit more. Let's read a little bit more here, just to give the. There's actually a lot more.
Oh wow.
Well, I don't know. I don't want to get into too much of the nitty gritty, but they say DeVos last week denied that the final rule would discourage victims from coming forward to report abuse, and instead allows for schools to be more balanced in how they review claims, rather than through what she called a kangaroo court approach. We can continue to combat misconduct without abandoning our core value of fairness, presumption of innocence, and due process. How schools should address sexual assault comes amid the larger Me Too movement, focusing on claims of misconduct that might otherwise go ignored. Schools that fail to adhere to Title IX requirements risk the loss of federal funding. So I'll tell you what, man. I think we all saw where the Me Too movement went, and it was predictable for a lot of people.
Yeah.
The moment it came out for Biden, whoa. We didn't mean against us.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you mean? You know,
It's ridiculous.
now you get Vice President Creepy Hands, and they don't care.
Creepy hands, man. Yeah, this is something that we needed for my. So I mentioned my friend. A lot of people are making jokes about who my friend was. I'm just gonna tell the story. Like, when I was in high school, one of my good friends was dating this girl, and he broke up with her. And it was just like, as people do, they break up. And like 3 days later, she was freaking out at him in school, like yelling at him, you know, screaming, like, you know, emotions. And then she just claimed, you know, a couple days after that he raped her. And he went to prison for 2 years. And then after about like a year and a half, 2 years later, well, while he was in prison, she said to like a doctor or someone that, look, I feel really guilty. I said this when I was younger. I was emotional. I don't love him anymore. I don't feel the same way. He didn't rape me. I was just mad at him. And it was like, what? And then the courts found out, and they released him, and he lost 2 years of his life because there was no questions asked. He was just put in prison, and they just believed what she said. And it's ridiculous because this kind of thing didn't exist.
And you also got to think about what it looks like on a resume or your life history when there's a 2-year gap.
Exactly.
What happened?
Where were you? Oh, I was in prison for rape. And it's like, how does that look? You know, that's
But
terrible.
I was innocent, trust me.
And he was innocent.
Have you seen the movie?
But that's not changing his record.
Have you seen the movie?
Well, it's probably expunged. Who knows? I don't know how it works.
Have you seen The Life of David Gale?
I have, yeah.
Kevin Spacey movie,
Yeah,
nonetheless.
Ooh.
that's true.
Yeah, creepy. Right?
I haven't seen it in a long time. I know he's in prison or something.
No, he's not in prison.
Oh, wait, I don't remember. Someone's in jail.
no,
right?
the guys who accused him mysteriously died.
Wait, say it again?
The guys who accused Kevin Spacey mysteriously died.
Ah, okay.
I don't know how
Yeah.
much. Was it two
I,
people?
I
There's
don't.
a
I
couple
do not
different
remember
people.
that movie at all.
Yeah, that was
You
weird.
don't remember Life of David Gill?
I don't remember it. No.
Basically,
I've seen it, but
He's
it's
an
been a long time.
He's it's a great movie.
Yeah.
I recommend it if you guys haven't seen it.
Okay.
He's an anti-death penalty activist. He goes to a party
Mm-hmm.
and he's a college professor, and this woman basically is like, let's hook up. She says things like, harder, harder, scratch me, and like tear it off about her clothes, and he does, and then she uses that against him to claim that he raped her, and it
Okay.
was because apparently she was failing his class, and she tried to offer him, sex in exchange for a good grade, and he said no.
Okay.
So she accuses him. His life is immediately destroyed. He's fired. He
Okay.
can't get hired anywhere. And then she just leaves. And so what ends up happening is the assumption is that she got scared and fled, and he must be guilty,
Ah.
even though there was no accusation, no proof.
No,
destroyed
right.
his life.
Mhm.
And so the long story short, the movie is about him. He's on death row, and he's trying to explain the story of how he ended up there, and this other woman that he was working with, how she died. It's a really, really old movie, so I'm going to spoil a bit of it for you. But basically, it destroyed his life.
Yeah.
Made him extremely, I guess, suicidal. And then he ended up martyring himself for the cause to resist the death penalty. But it's interesting how, man, the court of public opinion, you get, like, your friend probably deals with the ramifications of that still to this day in some
Probably.
capacity.
I mean, he has a wonderful family and a wonderful job now, and I'm really, really happy for him.
That's good.
And
2 years.
so, I mean, but it still doesn't change what happened to him.
Yeah.
Though. 2 years, that's a lot of time.
And there are going to be people who
gone.
There are people who probably would believe you if you went to prison for something like this and then got released after it was proven you were innocent.
Mm-hmm.
People are still going to have in the back of their minds
Yeah,
the
exactly.
possibility. Ooh,
Yeah.
it's crazy that people assume if you're being arrested, you've done something wrong.
Yep.
That's scary.
I agree. That's the world we live in now, though.
Yeah.
Yep. I've seen so many videos where the cops will be arresting somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you could put on a cop uniform and just chase someone down, and they will help you. That's how scary. It's a con artist thing. It's the use of authority for manipulation.
Mm-hmm.
If you look like a cop, you can be having someone on the ground, and they could be screaming for help, and no one will help this person. So if you like, this is actually what criminals and con artists do to a certain degree. They use that view of authority. Think about that mentality people have. Scale it up to someone getting arrested, doing a perp walk, and then the news being like, Adam Krigler was arrested for, felony embezzlement. He robbed, and it wasn't true.
Yeah.
Everyone sees that on the news. They don't care. It's true as far as they're concerned. You were arrested for it, therefore.
Yep.
That's why we always say we got to innocent until proven guilty. That's what's
what happened to that?
The ACLU saw some green.
Betsy's trying to bring it back, man.
Yep. This is the weirdest thing. There are certain cultural issues related to, conservatives, religious issues, life and choice kind of issues, death penalty issues, things I don't agree with. But right now, when it comes to the Constitution, freedom, the economy, you've got Bill Barr challenging these states' unconstitutional efforts. You got Betsy DeVos trying to bring back, due process. And I'm like, these are good. And Rand Paul.
Yeah, man.
Good dude.
Yeah.
Good dude.
Staple.
So Bernie Sanders didn't show up for this vote.
What's up with that? You'd think he'd be on the forefront.
He could have been the one vote to end this spying abuse if he showed up.
Why? What's up with that?
That's Bernie.
That
Gotta
doesn't make
love
any
him.
sense.
I don't like
Yes,
any of these
Bernie.
people, man.
Yeah.
But I'll individually support people I think do a great job. It's funny that people want me to like yell out who I'm going to vote for. It's like, bro, I'd vote for Rand Paul in 2 seconds. I don't even agree with him on a lot of issues, but he's a man of principle.
Yeah.
He stands up for the rights of the people, and I really, really respect that, about him. He's always on the side of like the government shouldn't have the power to do these things. He's not perfect. I'm sure there's some things I can call him out for, but I think he's a good dude.
Yeah.
But let's grab the last few super chats, and then we will all go to sleep and sleep comfortably.
And by sleep, I mean play Doom Eternal.
And drink
Doom Eternal.
whiskey?
Drink whiskey.
Possibly.
I might have a little bit of
Maybe a
whiskey.
little.
I've been slowing down on. I don't drink every night, but
As long as there's games.
If you
it
ha-
is good though.
If you haven't already, there's one thing you really got to do: smash that like button. Just jam
That's
it.
right. Oh, I have to do it. Wait.
Smash that like button.
I've been
let's
liked
get
it.
let's
Yeah,
get
me too.
50,000 likes.
Come on,
Sure.
everybody, like the YouTube video.
That was a joke for a while because all these YouTube videos would pop up where the guy would be like, "Yo, everybody, welcome to my vlog, man. Before we talk about this, you guys smash that like button," and then it would go like, "Wee," and like the screen would shake, and like it'd zoom in.
Well, where's our cool special effects?
Yeah, what the heck?
We should set one up. But people would do that.
Yeah.
And when you get those likes, your video does get pushed up by YouTube.
You know what? I'm going to take this time to remind you how much I really want Greta's face to pop up from the bottom of the
how dare you.
screen.
Yes.
We have like a "How dare you" button.
How dare you?
Yeah.
Expert Greta.
How dare you? And then
Expert on
goes back
COVID.
down.
Yes.
Man, I can't wait. It's hilarious.
But for real, the likes do help. Really do appreciate it. And share if you like the show.
Yeah.
We will be back tomorrow at 8 p.m. Let's read these next few super chats before we all go to bed. Steven says, just bought the same duster. It's awesome. Cool. Vendor says, extra message. I was joking about the manga. I just want to see your reaction. Big fan of you since 2018. Oh, no manga. What? Sean Ryan says, South Bend, Indiana is in major need of revitalization. It's also Eastern time zone. And it's really close to Chicago. It wouldn't be so bad. Gregory Horton. How about Gary?
Gary,
Have
Indiana.
you ever been to Gary?
Yeah.
No.
Gary's fun.
I've only ever driven through Indiana.
Man,
That's it. Actually, I went there once for fireworks to
I think I have a-
smuggle them into Illinois.
I have a video from, I think it's from Gary, and it's called American Wasteland.
Is that
And we
Gary?
we go and look at a bunch
Oh.
of like this destroyed.
Exciting.
Yep. Where are we at? Gregory says, check out Nemesis, a hypothetical star. Cool. D. Stoltenberg says, Coal Strip, Montana, town dying due to shutdown of coal power plant. It is built around. Can't sell your house if you tried. Opportunity for a tech co? Yeah, maybe. Christian says that ACLU article reminds me of the many guys that have been falsely accused. Look at Mattress Girl, for example. She lied, got the guy expelled, and was texting the guy for sex during the process. Oof. Christian says,
Terrible, man.
check out Matt Christensen's latest video on the purpose of government. It's a great watch and really shows the state of mind liberals are in when they think they should be taken care of. Yep. Gregory Horton says, Floor Gang. I think that's a PewDiePie reference. I don't know too much about it. William says, care to donate to Adopt a Beanie Foundation? Yes.
Yes.
Hey Momo says, rip and tear
Orphans.
until it's done. I made a Tinder profile for the Slayer to entertain myself during lockdown. Sweet.
Rip and tear. Yes,
Well-
I will certainly do that.
We didn't go too far over this time, but
Woo, I'm very
we're
proud
about
of
ready to
us.
wrap up. So if you haven't already,
Perfect timing.
I did mention the like button, subscribe, notification bell. Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. We do the show. We do it live. We put up clips the
Ish.
next day, and we'll probably have some specials. At some point, weekend stuff, maybe Adam's deep dives. We're still figuring things out.
Have fun.
Yeah.
Lots of expansion underway.
Yep.
We are. I have been consistently looking for a building so we can bring on more people, do more shows, gaming, and a ton of other stuff. So we'll get there when we get
You
there.
know what we need to do is have a jam session at the end of one of our shows.
Maybe
Maybe not
set
every
up.
time. Are we set
Maybe
up for
Friday
music?
nights?
Yes.
Like we can jam
Totally.
totally over
Yeah.
Absolutely.
there? That's pretty
Ooh.
sweet.
Camera. We
Yeah,
got the
try
cameras
it.
good to go. The jam cam ready. We got the microphone. It's boom ready.
That's pretty cool. We
Yep.
should end the show with the song sometime.
Well, we'll do that maybe tomorrow for Friday night.
That'd
Yeah,
be so
Friday
fun.
night- Friday
oh my
night
gosh,
We'll
yeah.
get
Jam
it
at
set
the
up. One last
All right.
super
well,
chat.
Yep. You said it, so now we have to do it.
Yeah, for sure, dude.
All right.
Sets says Rodney Mullen's still the best skater. The best skateboarder right now, Aurelian Giroud.
Rodney Mullen may not have been the best skater ever, or
No,
at
he
any
was.
point.
Yeah, he was.
But he is always phenomenal, and he crafts. Yeah, I guess
He
he
totally was the best skateboarder.
for a while. Yeah. Okay.
I mean,
Rodney Mullen is pretty amazing. Yeah, it's true.
you could argue legacy-wise, he's still the best in terms of his vision
Yeah.
was beyond anyone else.
Okay, that's
But there-
definitely true.
There really was a period where he was inventing tricks on a regular basis, and people were confused nonstop.
That's true.
So the thing about skateboarding is there is no best skateboarder in the sense that
Yeah.
they all do different tricks.
Okay.
So if
Yeah,
somebody
there's
like
definitely different styles.
Tony Hawk is a
skating.
vert skater,
Right.
so he's probably at this point he's 52, I think. I don't know how old, so I don't know, he's older than that.
He still slays.
He's amazing,
Slays, man.
but he's not a young man anymore. You know what I mean?
Right.
So there are better vert skaters, but he's still really good. I would say right now, in terms of all-around ability, the best skateboarder I've seen is Aurelian Giroud.
I still have yet to see any of his
Is
He's
videos.
good.
insane watching this guy.
Really?
Yeah, dude, it's like I can't even believe the tricks he's doing are real. This guy's it's some of the craziest stuff I've ever seen, ever. So it's only going to get crazier as time goes on.
Agreed.
But it depends on your definition of what the best skater is. Anyway, I'll leave it there. Thanks for hanging out. Stick around. We'll be back tomorrow at 8 p.m. live.
Have a good night, everybody.
YouTube.com/TimcastIRL. Don't forget to subscribe and share it with your friends, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye.